Absolutely abject poor.
Corner. Joy to the world, the Lord is come. Let earth receive her King. Let every heart prepare him room. And heaven and nature sing, and heaven and nature sing, and heaven and nature sing. Joy to the world, the Savior reigns. Let men their songs employ, while fields and floods, rocks, hills and plains repeat the sounding joy. Repeat the sounding joy. Repeat, repeat the sounding joy. No more let sins and sorrows grow, nor thorns infest the ground. He comes to make his blessings flow, for as the curse is found, for as the curse is found, for as the curse is found. He rules the world with truth and grace, and makes the nations prove the glories of his righteousness, and wonders of his love, and wonders of his love, and wonders of his love.
Holy infant, so tender and mild, sleep in heavenly peace. Sleep in heavenly peace. Silent night, holy night. All is calm, all is bright. Round yon virgin mother and child, holy infant, so tender and mild. Sleep in heavenly peace. Sleep in heavenly peace. Silent. How is everybody, huh? We're getting close. We're coming down to the wire. Coming up on Christmas. And you know I'm not a liar. And let's see, wire, liar, fire. My tooth is on fire. I gotta find a dentist today. And silent night, holy night. All is calm, all is bright. How are you? It is the middle of the night, really. Dark as all get out, huh? Aren't we coming up on the shortest day of the year? I think it's a good time to go out and walk through the woods of Lost Marsh and then listen to Dave Dabberton, the saner of the two, recite Robert Frost. What's the exact name of it? Stopping by the woods on a snowy evening. Which path did I take? Of course, I always take the hardest one. So which one will that be today, huh? Lashmi. Am I live on YouTube? Anybody? Text me, please. Am I live on YouTube? That's a good question. I'm live on the radio. Let's make sure about that. Am I live on you? There you go. Sorry about yesterday, guys. We had a little bit of a power problem. It wasn't even that the power was still out, but what happened was the power in Hammond went out like this. Ding, 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 ding. It went out 4 times in a short period, and that had us, so many things got to be reset once that happens. But we reset it and got back. It took most of the day, actually. But, hey, we're back, and we're ready to go. And once again, the infrastructure of Hammond, I don't know, disappoints in a way, huh? I had a guy ask me, he's like, well, how does Hammond expect to, attract all these businesses if there's kind of aging infrastructure? And I'm like, I don't know, not my problem anymore. I tried to get involved with Purdue and the entrepreneurship community and create a Silicon Boulevard here. That didn't really work out as it would have. This is now a cyber center. All the entrepreneurs are gone, and there is no Silicon Boulevard. Although people have jobs and innovation and that kind of thing, nothing really happens. And I'm not going to just sit around and wait till it does. The next generation will do that. But I'll tell you what. I have this love for radio that I'm rediscovering, and I hope you are too, but it's going to take a while to get there. But you have, I think we're going to go forward with our we're going to go forward with a 2026 that is going to come back, and we're going to fix some of this stuff and address it. But right now we're going to go forward with some Christmas music for most of the way Doodly doo moo da ba da ha dee skiddy fee pa poop ba da na. Well, I'm on the radio. I'm not exactly sure how to get on YouTube, but they'll be here at 7 and they'll get me on. How's that sound? All right, let's take a look at what's going on with the traffic and the weather. As expected, there ain't any traffic. Hele moroshk, hishke VP. So 294 around the city looks pretty good. 80 going east and west looks good. The Bishop Ford, Dan Ryan, Skyway Toll Road, Borman, I-65. They're all moving along pretty well. What do you have in terms of the weather? You know, I had somebody ask me if I wanted to go to the Bears game, you know. First of all, I can't. I've got too many family things going, but it looks like it actually should be a decent day, you know what I mean? Look at what we have coming here. Today, a high of only 26. It's really kind of chilly out right now. It's 15 degrees. And here at the Strachan Van Til Studios on the campus of Purdue Northwest. And then it is 16 degrees at Ironworkers Local 395 in Portage. And it is 16 degrees at Local 7-1 in Whiting. And that is the operators of the BP refinery. So I think pretty much almost everywhere, except maybe the BP Whiting refinery, for some reason, is going to be 28 degrees. But 26 is your high today. Breezy and much colder with clouds. Breaking for some sun. Then tomorrow, breezy with times of clouds and sun, and a high of 44. What a beautiful day. I mean, I don't know, what was it, yesterday or the day before? I think it was the day before, so that would have been Wednesday. I remember getting out of the car and just putting I'm like, gosh, I don't need this coat, and walking around with a sweater, and it was pretty nice. Well, you should get that again tomorrow on a Saturday. Breezy with times of clouds and sun and a high of 44. And then by Sunday, back below freezing. For Christmas itself, you know, there you go. Coffee, bagel, laptop, the 3 or 4 of you listening, the 30 or 40 trying to get onto YouTube. Sorry about that. I don't even know how to do that. A high of 58 on Christmas. Am I reading that right? Sartly Pony, closely Mowdy, with a pizzle drossable in the afternoon. So, yeah, by then, Wednesday, a high of 50, mostly cloudy with a drizzle. But by next Thursday, so 6 days from now, a high of 58 on Christmas. How do you feel about that? You know, when I was in California and spent a few Christmases there, and some of the Midwestern people it's almost all Midwestern people in a weird way, that and there's a few East Coasters, but a lot of them, you know, oh, where are you from? Iowa. Oh, where are you from? Kentucky. Where are you from? Hey there, Hoser, Minnesota. And, you know, you're there and you're who knows where. Say you're at a park on Christmas and you start talking to someone and they're from somewhere else. Oh, my gosh, I sure miss the snow and I sure miss the cold. And I'm like, you know, I'm not sure I could join in on this conversation. You know what I mean? I did not miss the cold and did not miss the snow. And if it's 80 degrees on Christmas Day, all power to you. You know what I mean? But what it's looking like for us is a really warm Christmas. How would you like to sit in your backyard with a high of 58 and partly sunny on Thursday? Would you? Say if there isn't a ton of wind and you're sitting out there and you put a nice jacket on, you could clean off your porch or your veranda or your, little patch of the world behind your kitchen door, and you could go outside on Christmas Day. Now, that's a good one. Now, I was supposed to take Christmas Eve, but I probably I won't be able to. I've got something going on. So Adriana will be here on that show. So I may, who knows, I've done it before, come in on Christmas Day. Like, hey, there's nothing going on. We do our stuff kind of before it. We do it on Christmas Eve. There's really not anything happening. We're not hosting. So I'm like, I'm not doing anything. I'm going to go down and spin some Christmas music. So you never know. I might be here on Christmas Day. Hey, I don't know what to do today. What do you think? What do you want? I'm only here for an hour, by the way. And then Brent Brazier and Matt Maloney are going to take it home. And we are moving a bunch of stuff today to the old studio, which I can't wait for, by the way. You know that? There's so many good spirits there. It's kind of funny because the young kids that are doing it are they're wary of the preacher's office, but they want to know more about him. You know what I mean? And I don't know how to describe him. He's been dead 14 years, and he's still a legend around here. And what else? Well, you know what? I know a few people are calling already. So, hi, how are you?
Good morning.
Hi, what's happening?
Well, not much except Tuesday. It was hilarious. Well, we had to go down to Indianapolis Boulevard, me and Deb, yesterday to go to a big box place to get her another radio because Tuesday when you and Ron were singing, my dog come running out of the front kitchen, tail between his legs, went flying under the couch when you guys were singing. And you two singing broke Deb's radio.
I know that's not true.
No, I'm just joking, but no, gosh.
I thought it was a really nice duet.
Oh, yeah, it was good, but, just don't quit your daytime jobs.
So I got an idea.
It's the season to be joyful and happy and do whatever you want to do. I mean, it was. I mean, he didn't want to sing, but you got him to start moving his lips and sing.
Do you sing?
Yeah, I got an album from when I was in high school, Roger Lindquist, which is long gone past. I sang in choir, sang downstate at Butler. We won a trophy and all that stuff. Yeah, I sing in a shower.
Well,
What's
your favorite Christmas song?
The Greatest Gift of All by Dolly Parton and Kenny Rogers.
Is that what you sing in the shower?
Yeah. Well, I don't want to get water in my. I don't want to get water in my mouth, so I keep my mouth shut.
So
I keep my mouth shut. Besides being in the shower and out in the public, I kind of keep my mouth shut so people don't get mad at me.
So are you in the shower right now?
No, I'm sitting in my lazy
then
boy
if
chair
you
with
were to sing, you wouldn't get water in your mouth, right?
And I'm not gonna sing. Let Deb sing because she used to call in.
Hold on a second. It's not about Deb. It's about you. You made an album. You were a good singer in the choir in high school, and then you gave it up to become a truck driver and move goods around America, and we thank you for that. And
I sang in my semi because I had 4 hours of driving. Yes, I sang in the semi. I had good music on,
So that Dolly Parton song, could you just hum a little bit of it for us?
Oh gosh, I really could. Honestly, Jim, I couldn't do it right now.
Oh come on, just like a hum. You know what I mean?
No. But you know what?
But what do I know? I mean, I'm having a little trouble. I mean, I'd
rather hear you sing.
I give of myself to sing and make a kind of, because sometimes I kind of make a fool of myself. But I have a feeling you would not make a fool of yourself singing.
No, but you know what I did? I posted something on my page yesterday because I'm getting tired of going to the same. Real quick, me and my wife was down there by a store, and then right next was that. I don't know if I'm going to say this right. My wife gets tired because when me and my sister went to that Polar Train Express in Chicago, we were waiting to get on it. I had a chicken sandwich from that. They call it Chick-fil-A or Chick-fil-A or whatever that is on the Indianapolis Boulevard.
Chick-fil-A.
Yeah. So yesterday, after me and my wife, I got her a new radio. We went over to that Chick-fil-A and got sandwiches, brought them home, and first time we tried, I went inside to see what the place looked like, and but the thing was is, yesterday, you Dedelow me off the air a couple times right in the morning.
Well,
when you were having all the wonderful problems.
Well, we didn't have any power, so I couldn't broadcast. That's kind of out of our purview. So that is kind of a Dedelowing, you know what I mean? But
you know what?
So here's the thing: I got to move on because I'm only here for a short period. But if I come in on Christmas morning, will you sing on Christmas morning?
Christmas morning, I'll try to start practicing, but I just hope everybody turns the radio off.
No, listen. I need a commitment. Now, if I come in on Christmas morning, will you call me and sing?
I'll try.
All right. That's all I needed.
I will.
I'm holding you to it. Hey, you're on the air. How are you?
Is Lynette there?
What's wrong with you, man? Can't you take anything seriously?
Oh, I am, because I'm assuming she's not, because you're not on YouTube.
Yeah,
Oh, God.
You know what? Here's the thing. I told them,
you got a lot of people upset right now.
I don't want a YouTube channel. It just causes more problems. And they're like, yeah, we got to do a YouTube channel. Now, when I'm not on YouTube, do you know how many people are texting me? Oh, hey, dude, you're off of YouTube. Hey, what's happening? I mean, I don't know what happened. I don't know. I don't know how to turn it on. So sorry about that.
Well, you need to turn it on, because here's the issue. For those of us that work about 5 miles away from the studio, we can't hear you on the radio. So YouTube's so convenient, because when you subscribe to your channel, it automatically pops up on your phone. You click on it, and boom, you're on. It's that fast. So you're really upsetting a lot of people this morning.
I am. And believe me, some of them are populating my phone right now. All right, so here's the thing. For the new year, I'm going to make a resolution, okay? And you hold me to it. I'm going to make a resolution that A, I'm going to learn how to turn on YouTube. And B, I'm going to go on YouTube and like it, okay?
Okay.
And I'm going to shoot under 80 regularly.
Yeah, I'll believe that one when I see that one.
How often have you shot under 80 in your life?
A handful of times.
How did it feel when you were done?
Awesome. The only times I ever shoot under 80 is when you have 0 balls lost.
Zero
lost balls. Zero lost balls.
Yes.
Yep, 0, because that's the only way to do it. At least for me, But I actually got to work every day, so I don't get to golf 3 and 4 times a week.
Man, you're really you're really pissed about not being on YouTube, aren't you?
Well, just not me.
Hey, man, it's the Christmas season. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So what do you want for Christmas?
I'm that guy, I pretty much got my life how I want it, Hold on a second. Brent, do you have a coffee for me? Oh, listen, Brent Fraser just came here without a coffee. Should I turn his mic on or not?
Not yet.
Yeah, I think they're saying you should wait for a little while for coming in here without a coffee for me. Who does that? I have coffee. It's typically what happens is I dump this one out and I drink the coffee somebody brings me, because this stuff is kind of cheap stuff. So what do you want for Christmas?
I got everything. I don't need nothing. We're not like that.
My Christmas and my birthday are kind of really close. So I've always kind of gotten the one or bigger gift from my parents and the wife. You know what I've never had in my life?
What?
I've never had a really good driver. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? Something that I went out and Baker's like, hey, let's go get fitted. I go, I'm not spending money. I could have bought a camera for what it costs to buy a driver.
Yeah, nowadays you're talking $500, $600, $700.
Yes. But you go and you're playing and some guy's got a new driver and he just feels good about it, you know? And it looks good in his hands and I just never have had that feeling. Now, I've been playing a driver. A guy passed away, Kirk Domino Smith. His dad died. And I was over at his house. And he's like, Jed, you know, my dad really liked you. And I know you're never going to buy your own driver. So he gave me a driver. That was like 15, 18, 20 years ago. And I've been playing that same driver all this time. Maybe it's time. You know what I mean?
Yeah. My favorite is, the guys have to look at the new driver. I spent $750. They get up to the tee box. They go back. They swing and off to the right it goes. And they smack the club on the ground and they look at it. And I'm going to use my mulligan. How many times have you seen that one?
Well, I would say I can't count them on one hand, put it that way. Hey, man, Merry Christmas. Thanks for calling in. When Adriana's going to produce today for Brent Brazier and Maloney, and everyone else is going to be making a bunch of ruckus out here, moving stuff. So no Lynette today. It's going to be, and no Joe Cimino. It's going to be Adriana. So, all right.
Oh, well, she'll get the YouTube working.
Yeah, of course you will. Thank you.
Okay. Bye.
Do you have a headset on? Alamaha Moro.
I was listening on the way in, and you were talking about eating a bagel and drinking coffee. So I stopped and got coffee and a bagel or a
Let me just
croissant.
tell you something.
And I said, should I call him? He said he's already got coffee, and I didn't do it. We get Maloney to bring us a reload.
So hold on a second. First of all, your biggest mistake is I was listening to you on the way in. There you go. That's a part of the story. And the second part is if you're the person that's with me that morning, like say.
I mean, I always brought one to Kuziak.
How do you think that makes me feel right now?
But he would text me. He's like, "Hey, are you getting coffee?" I'm like, "Sure." I felt like I was like the pledge.
Hey,
I had to show up with coffee at a certain time every day.
Well, hey, you're on the air. How are you? Hello.
Hello.
Good morning.
Hello. You're on the air. Go ahead.
Are you talking to Walt?
Hey, I'm talking to you, Walt. I'm sorry. It's not all that organized. Adriana will be here in just a little bit, okay?
What happened yesterday?
We got the power went out.
Oh.
So the power was out for a long time, and then it went out in a weird way where it went out 4 times in a row. So we had some of the equipment we had to reset. So it took like most of the day once the power did go on. And so I mean we're at the mercy of old infrastructure, Walt, and you know that.
Right.
So it is what it is. But we're back now. That's all that matters. We're not on YouTube because I don't know how to turn it on, but we're doing all right. How's your Christmas season going, Walt?
Fine. We are an old married couple, and we try to keep it low key and not too exciting.
Are you going to get a new Hunter Green cardigan sweater this year or no?
I asked my wife what she thought about it, and we'll continue the conversation. How about some good news?
Yeah, would you? Because people are lighting up my phone. They're mad about not being on YouTube. I don't even want it.
When I'm in Milwaukee, that's how I listen or watch. And you got a really active comment section on there. I mean, every morning, like right at the start, Paul Goddard's like, "Good morning, everyone," and everybody chimes in.
He's one of the people lighting up my phone right now.
Yeah, I kind of felt like him on the way in. When I was coming up Indianapolis, there 8094 going eastbound. There's something going on right there at Indianapolis and and 89.4, he can probably tell us better.
Do you have him in your phone?
I do.
Then you should text him that. Well, he's listening. Well, no, he's not.
Well, he's not because he can't get it on YouTube. I don't know. I don't know where he's working today. He might could.
Sorry, could you hear me? I think my thing just went out.
No, I can hear you.
Can you really?
Yeah, I can. You're fine. I mean, I know you're trying to dip out early because I came in early, but you can stick around.
Okay. Hey, Walt, what's going on, man?
Well, for one thing, the TBS is going to play for 24 hours starting on Christmas Eve at 8 o'clock and go for 24 hours. And there will be constant replay of The Christmas Story.
So is that good or bad? Hold on, can you hear me now?
Yeah. Now I can hear you.
Yeah. Now you can. All right. I forgot to put batteries in this thing. Why is that movie such a big deal?
Because it's I would put it up there with the best Christmas movies of all time. I mean, I was unaware of the setting until I moved here, but I can tell you, I'm 50 years old. I've been watching that movie every year since I was a little kid, as long as I can remember. I mean, when I got a Red Ryder BB gun, there was a reason. I mean, it was funny. I was kind of doing some research. Matt and I are going to talk a lot about football. We had the big news about the Bears coming to Northwest Indiana, or potentially coming to Northwest Indiana. And
That's a joke.
I'm going through. Hey, we're going to have a couple hours to talk about that, Walt. You're welcome to call back in later. But anyway, I'm going through I'm searching it on Twitter. And there was an astounding number of posts who were like, the Bears are moving to the home of the Christmas Story. And, these were, all over the internet. It wasn't just us local folks talking about it. I think for people that, like you, have grown up here, and you're like, oh, yeah, it's the Christmas Story, set in Hammond. I don't think you realize how big that movie is everywhere. I mean, when we did a couple years ago, we had the cast come out. They were in the Hammond Christmas Parade. They did a meet and greet at the Welcome Center, and we had people from like 46 states. There was a family that drove from Washington State to visit the Welcome Center, meet the cast, and see where the movie was from. I mean, it's one of those kind of cultural zeitgeist thing where, it's just like, well, I mean, they've been doing that for a few years now, right? Well, if I remember correctly, the 24 hours of the Christmas Story.
Yes.
And we've all seen it so many times you could turn it on.
Wait, they're doing it on CBS?
TBS.
T as in Tango,
Turner
B as in
Broadcasting.
Bubble, B as
Do you know what happened to this guy? So I was talking to Cal Bellamy the other day, and we were talking about Gene Shepard, because Cal Bellamy, I'm in polite, I'm talking to some executives of, maybe I'll sell them some ads or whatever, trying to be official, and he goes, oh, you're talking to the provocateur. And he met me, and I'm like, well, what do you mean? I've only heard one person in this world ever been described as a provocateur, and that was Gene Shepard. And I've heard this story before, Walt, that they brought Gene Shepard in, like, I don't know if it was the schools or the Chamber of Commerce or whatever, and nobody knew who he was. It was like walking around, and they tried to get people to a big thing at the library and here in Hammond, and nobody came.
Well, I grew up during the period of Gene Shepard and the era that he represented in the movie and so forth, and I thought it fairly accurately captured the flavor of the time, and especially the scene with the Daisy Ryder thing, and the mom telling the kid, "No, you can't have a Daisy Ryder because you'll shoot your brother's eye out." I experienced exactly the same thing as a kid.
Walt, can I just say it directly. Did you just laugh?
Yes.
Well, I don't know what to say, man. We've had our ups and downs over the years, but man, you're one of a kind. Okay.
Well, I can tell your audience, if they've never been to the visitor center on Kennedy Avenue in Hammond, right next to the Cracker Barrel. You've never been there, to take your kids, your grandkids. I think they do a really nice job. Like 50 decorated trees by different civic groups, and you can vote on which one you like the best. And they have a nice big table there for the kids to do with crayons and drawing of various kinds. And then they have the dioramas of featuring various scenes from the movie. And on the weekends, they very often have special events. Santa shows up, and you can get pictures taken and so forth. So plenty of parking. It's free. The show is free. They've got a wonderful gift shop if you're looking for some.
If you need a leg lamp,
yeah,
they have the leg lamps.
Yes, they do.
And they have I was actually there last night for a Christmas party, Walt, and they have my favorite thing, and my kids love it, is they have the Santa, up on the platform, and after you sit on Santa's lap, he kicks you down the slide, just like in the movie. Which is that scene that scene when they're waiting to go to see Santa is one of my favorites personally.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, can I interject just a little bit here? If you guys like Gene Shepard, I hate to say this, he was way better of a radio guy than he wrote stories. His stories are okay. A Christmas Story was my favorite movie growing up before it got really popular. I'm with you on all of that.
Did he narrate that movie?
Yeah.
That's his voice talking, right?
Yeah. So
he was a storyteller, and that's where the radio part of it comes in.
As Cal Bellamy says, he was a provocateur. What's a provocateur, Walt?
Somebody who likes to raise controversy in the middle of sanity.
I like that.
Yeah, I guess
I like that.
Hey, all right, we got to move.
Well, let me say this too about the movie. The events actually took place probably within 3 or 4 miles from the Indiana Visitor Center.
Oh, less than that. It's right over here in Cleveland, right?
Yeah.
He went to Harding School, and then he worked at WJOB. But by far, this guy was an artist. And if you go to flicklives.com and you got to kind of hit around, but you go to the fan postings of his old audio. They have audio of him doing a night show there from 1963 to when he quit in like 1978. He did it a lot before that, but they didn't record it. And it's just amazing, Walt. And he talks about Indiana all the time. Mm-hmm. And he makes fun of us, really.
Right.
Yeah. And when
he was doing it in New York.
Yes. I mean, he was talking to a New York audience, and he's making fun of Indiana. It's like trading in the pits of the Board of Trade and everybody making fun of you for being from Indiana. But I don't know about you guys. I love Indiana, man. Like Strachan Van Til has it right on that one. I love Indiana. I love everything about it. And it kind of makes me a little bit bristly when people make fun of Indiana. Am I the only one?
Well, they don't know what they're talking about. I mean,
only Walt does. I know that.
One thing about Hoosiers is that they really don't. They're not inclined to brag about the good stuff of the state, and it's part of the Hoosier mentality, I think. And but there's plenty to see and do. There's beautiful farmland down in the southern part of the state, and beautiful hilly country, and we have the dunes. We got Lake Michigan, and we're close to Chicago without being in Chicago because we can take advantage of the high-end museums and so forth, and tons of different kinds of ethnic restaurants. Oh, by the way, talking about
Walt, you
restaurants.
forgot one thing about Northwest Indiana.
Okay.
We're going to have our own NFL team pretty soon. I got to go. I'll see you.
Hey, so real quick, Paul Goddard sent me a text.
Oh, he's lighting me up. He's going nuts. He can't listen.
He wants me to come in there and show you how to press go live on YouTube. But he texted me. I said, "Oh, thanks. Were you listening on the radio?" He said, "No, but I figured someone would ask." So 80 eastbound at the mile marker 2, a large iron beam was in the roadway. At least 7 cars with damage on the shoulder, and the beam has now been moved to the shoulder, so that should be cleared up. But it sounds like there's probably some people getting some tires changed there.
Well, how come you didn't pull out? You knew you were coming on the air. Why didn't you go over there and find out what was going on?
I'm not Paul Goddard. I could never do what Paul Goddard does. I wash dishes, man.
Hey, could you see Goddard at 2:30 in the morning, and he and his significant other are laying there, and he gets a text about a beam that's fallen on 8094, and then he gets out of his bed. He goes over there.
I don't think people realize what a service Paul provides. I mean, if you subscribe to his subscriber, it's like $1 a month. I mean, anything that happens, he has kind of a team now. He has people that monitor the scanners and people that are out and about. You can find out anything that happens immediately on his page.
Yes.
If you see a whole bunch of first responders driving down Indianapolis, pull over, open the page, and you're like, oh, there's a fire at Whole Foods, and it's a 5 alarm. As they're pulling in, I like Paul's a great guy, but the service that he provides in terms of traffic and crime and where to go and what to avoid is amazing.
And I'm with you. He's amazing on that, but it's given me just a little bit of satisfaction knowing that he really wants to be listening and watching, and he can't right now. He's lighting up my phone. He's like, "You're an idiot."
It's lighting me up.
Yeah, I'm like, "Come on, man."
Should I come in? There's usually just a button that says "Go Live." You want me to click it?
I don't know where it is. Adriana will be here in 20 minutes, and she'll put it on live. Sorry about that. All right, we'll be right back. All right, why not, huh?
I'm going to say Christmas Eve is coming soon. Now are you, dear old man? Whisper what you bring to me. Tell me if you can. When the clock is striking 12, when I'm fast asleep, down the chimney broad and black, with your past lots of toys, all for the little ones' Christmas joys. Ho, 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 who would go?
Papka śpiwa, la marana, pole skifi, paperine, hake shipa fuperame. Hey everybody, I'm Jim Dedelow. I guess I'm getting kicked out after this segment, so let's make it really
I think
good.
Can you hear me?
Can you
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
I think you should stick around. I got Danny Max going to call in around 7. And I think we
You
can
better
have.
text them to make it 7:15, okay?
Okay.
Yeah, there you go.
But he's out in Arizona. But I think that we could start. I really wanted to talk, and I told you when we were going to do the show. That's why I talked to Matt. I said, we're not going to do politics and all this. I'm so sick of all the crap going on. Let's talk about football. I mean, this is an amazing year in Indiana and in the region, right? I mean, you got the Hoosiers, the number one team, top seed in the playoff for the first time. They win their first Heisman ever. The Bears are in first place. And then after we had decided to do the show, now we find out they're moving to Hammond. We're going to have the Hammond Bears or the Gary Bears or wherever.
Do you think that we'll fight so much the different mayors? You know what? Too bad Goddard's not listening because he predicted this. It's like that we're going to kind of be fighting over it here locally. And then I started thinking about it. I go, do you think the mayors will start fighting over the Bears?
Sure. Absolutely. It's for whatever community gets it, it's a once in a lifetime game changing thing for that economy, right? Because I'm assuming, and I didn't study it too. I'm not really a big Bears fan, but I didn't study it what they were going to do in Arlington. But I read a little bit. They had 180 acres or something. They were going to do a big development. I've been to Arlington. I actually went to the Alabama-Michigan game there years ago right when the stadium had first opened. But that's what Jerry Jones did. I mean, Arlington is, 20 miles-ish from Dallas, a solid hour in a car anytime you go. But they basically went out in the middle of nowhere. I mean, Arlington was kind of like a sleepy little suburb thing. And they built this entire development, right? I mean, the stadium is there, but there's all this other stuff around it that they just that all feeds off of it. At the Atlanta Braves, and I've been going to Braves games since I was a kid, and I have not yet been to the new stadium 2 or 3 years ago, but they're in Cumming. I mean, Cumming is like the sticks. It would be like if it would be, say, Bourbonnais to Chicago is where Cumming is from Atlanta, right? It's Georgia 400. It's a toll road. You go way up there. It's out in the middle of nowhere. But they built this whole entertainment district. It's got hotels. It's got restaurants. There's stuff going on there all the time. And the Braves Stadium is just part of it. And I think that is the way these stadium developments go now, right? Like no one is building a Wrigley Field in a downtown neighborhood or even Soldier Field where it is. There has to be for the team. We saw it in Milwaukee, right? That Milwaukee, when the Bucks built the new stadium next to the old one, they ended up tearing it down, the old stadium, but they bought all the surrounding property. They have a hotel. It's called the Trade. It's called the Deer District. Now, it's not on the scale of a football stadium, but there's a whole bunch of restaurants and bars, and they closed off one of the streets. It's like a walkable promenade. So it's not just the arena, it's the stuff around it, and the team owns all that. So I think that, the stadium is one thing, but it's all of the other things around it and those jobs and that tax revenue.
This already happened once, right? Goddard is blowing up my phone, so I read what I texted him. I texted him, this is great discussion. Wish you could hear it.
Well, and he replied.
Oh, what did he say?
Well, this is a post that he put that was on his Facebook page where he'd reached out to the mayors. He has quotes from the Portage mayor, Bonta, from Mayor McDermott, Mayor Pete down in Crown Point, Mayor Huddleston over in Hobart, and Mayor Melton and Lake Station. They all think they've got a great site. So somebody, I mean, they're not all getting those, right?
So I mean, this already happened once. I remember watching Chris Morrow. You probably don't even remember him. He was the head of Mercantile National Bank, and they sold to BMO. All these BMOs around here, they used to be Mercantiles. And Chris was kind of leading that charge to bring the Bears here. And that was when they were trying to get a new deal on Soldier Field. And I don't know if they leveraged that to get all of the upgrades where they kind of built a Martian spaceship around an old football field. It's kind of weird, but it works. And they wound up getting that by leveraging us because that's what you do. So
sure.
Perhaps, what's the new guy, the new GM? I forget his name, Allen or something like that. But he could have watched, say, hey, we leveraged Indiana once. Why don't we leverage them again? And let's get them all excited. And then Illinois legislators will say, we can't have it going to Indiana. And then.
Well, I think the Illinois legislature has made it pretty clear they're not going to play ball with it.
Well, you know what's kind of odd is that I have been trying forever to get the Colts on WJOB. I could get big sponsors for the Colts, and they give you shows during the week. And once you're an affiliate, and especially where people can't hear the WIBC or whatever it's on in Indianapolis, it would be a huge get for us. We have Purdue, we have IU, and we're really just missing the Colts, right? Nobody really wants the Pacers or the Fever, not yet. But the Colts, people ask me, why don't you have the Colts? And so we've tried before, and we got really close to getting the Colts, and then Irsay and McCaskey stepped in, according to the person who emailed me, and they have a gentleman's agreement that Northwest Indiana is Bears territory. And I'm like, well, that has changed because the Colts now sponsor girls flag football. And they give everybody, any school in Indiana, I think $5 or $10,000 if they'll start girls flag football. So there's plenty of schools. I think Munster got the check, and some other schools around here got the check from the Colts. So the Bears aren't giving Munster $10,000 or whatever.
Does that all change?
Exactly. I'm like, well, I mean, it really would take, Dave Westland sending them a letter saying we're going to sue you for monopoly or something and take on the NFL, which I can't fund. But the idea would be that, is this Bears territory or is this Indianapolis territory? And that's okay, but none of our tax dollars should ever go to anything that supports the Colts if we can't have the Colts here. And that was my thinking. And both the Bears and the Colts, and I talked to people in their front offices, they're like, this guy's nuts. But I'm like, no, if you go to Crown Point, south of Crown Point, it's Colts territory.
Right. It was kind of going back to what Walt was talking about, and you talk about loving Indiana. I really didn't know anything about the region when I moved here, right? I moved for a job, and it was kind of like, this is where you got to go, and it was okay. I had been here once at the beginning.
Hey, there's a guy knocking. He doesn't have a neck. What happened to him?
He's early.
He's early is right.
But, I didn't know much about the region or anything really. And I didn't, from an outsider's perspective, I didn't understand that it was essentially part of Chicago. I mean, Chicagoland. I grew up watching the Bozo Show on WGN when I was a little kid because that was that was one of the 3 cable channels we had. But I don't think that no one. I mean, the vast majority of people around here are Bears fans. Nobody. I mean, I know a bunch of Bears season ticket holders. I don't know any Indianapolis season ticket holders.
Well, you know what would be cool? I was thinking about this. I was like, you know what? Let's go hog wild. Let's give the Bears whatever they want. Bring them to Gary or Hammond or Hobart. And then when they're not using it one weekend, we have a Colts game here. How do you like that? Does anybody like that? Hey, you're still on the air, okay? All right.
I'm listening. I'm thinking.
Hey, Maloney's here too. He wants to come on. Don't you? And then think about all the concerts we could have. And now we have possibly a convention center they're going to build, right? I love this, man.
So
we're ready.
What about? Hear me out. So the Bears come to Hammond or wherever, and at some point in the future, there's an all Indiana Super Bowl. The Northwest Indiana Bears versus the Indianapolis.
That happened in the early 2000s when Indianapolis and Chicago met in the Super Bowl, right?
They did?
I think so, right? Maloney, didn't the Colts and the Bears meet in the Super Bowl?
Yeah, 2006.
Yeah, I didn't know what year it was, but he says 2006.
The Bears were in the Super Bowl in 2006?
Yeah. Rex Grossman led them, baby. They almost won a Super Bowl with a third-string quarterback.
Prince did the halftime show.
Yeah, remember? Prince did that thing with the silhouette and all that.
It was raining, right?
You know what? This is
I
really
remember
cool.
that now.
You and I could talk, and we could just keep him out there, and when we can't remember something,
he can
he's
knock off the Bears facts.
He's like a Google over here. You know, we don't have to Google it. Just ask Maloney. Hey, let's take a couple calls.
We should get Paul call in. You could at least listen while you're on hold.
Man, if I got to hear Paul Goddard's name one more time, I'm going to drink a gallon of bleach. I mean, what the F?
Hey, man, not only that, while you're on the air, I'm going to say, hey, please go to Region News Source on Facebook and like the page. How's that for a shameless plug?
Man, this guy, whatever. Hey, I hear Jewel Harris Sr. is looking for work ever since he got out of prison. So I think this would be a great opportunity for him to build another stadium in Gary, because the last one he built in Gary turned out so well. You remember that, Jim?
There's a stadium in Gary?
I think I did. I think I did a lot of stories on that. Yeah. What happened was,
where is it?
There was like double billing on the stadium, and who went to prison on that?
Jewel Harris Sr.
Senior, yeah.
Where's the stadium in Gary?
The baseball
It's
stadium.
a Railcat stadium.
Oh, the Railcat. Oh, I thought you were talking about football stadium.
And FYI, Devin Hester ran back the opening kickoff in 2006 for a touchdown.
Devin Hester did, right?
When he went to the house. Hey, where's Kemper at?
Kemper had 6 classes this semester, and I told him not to do that. And about halfway through the second week, he's like, Jim, I can't do this. I'll pick it up. And then he's taking 6 again next week. So Kemper is just a fill-in when we can't find anybody.
We already spent too much time talking about Kemper. I got one more question. This vote that they had, as it relates to make it illegal to cut off minors' private parts, how did Mervan vote on that? Do we have any idea? Was he in favor of cutting off kids' private parts, or did he vote against it?
I don't know. I haven't followed that story.
Can you, in your infinite wisdom as a journalist, can you please find out?
Answer. You wouldn't answer. Ask a question.
Hey,
you didn't know the answer.
I swear, I've scoured the interweb and I can't find anything. Can you please find? I want to know.
Funny you say that. I have this pulled up because I don't know if anybody saw the press conference yesterday where Dr. Oz said it cost $150,000 to build a wang, and I was like, I can't.
Hey,
can I hear? Well, but listen, hold on. Wait. I went to ChatGTP and I asked the question: in the United States, how many people under the age of 18 have gender reconstructive surgery. And it gave me
Hold
this.
on, wait. There's a
you're
difference
on a
between
list
gender
now for
reconstruction.
Googling that.
Listen, there's a difference between gender reconstruction and what you wackos refer to as gender reaffirming. If somebody's in an accident,
however you want to phrase it. Do you know how many times it happened it has happened in the United States in the last 10 years?
If it happened once, it's too many.
It hasn't happened ever. It's never has happened. They don't do it on people under 18. So why are we even discussing it?
Okay, so in the future, this will prevent. So I just want to know.
You know what? You just hit the nail on the head with our legislators in Washington. We're going to make a big deal and pass a law to fix something that's never happened and won't ever happen. It doesn't happen.
Well, I don't. First off, I question your facts and your sources. So
I don't know. I use ChatGTP, so you.
Kuziak, let me finish my point. Boy, you were a great understudy for Kuziak. He taught you a lot. So that's what I want to know, if Mervan thinks it's okay for little boys to have their wieners.
You know what? I know Frank pretty well, and I'll speak for him, and I'm gonna tell you the answer is no.
Hey,
I don't think anybody believes that's okay.
I don't really care about this one, but hey,
let's talk about football.
Hey, hold on a second.
This went off the rails really fast.
Hey, I got something for you, caller. Yeah. So we have a problem yesterday, and I got an electrician out, and I get the NIPSCO guy out, right?
Oh boy, here we go.
Listen,
here we go.
Come out, and I'm like, hey man, thanks to you guys, you fixed, the part that needed to be fixed, and thanks a lot, and thanks for restoring the power. And then I go to the new guy. I go, hey, are you the new Dog? You remember Dog, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
He's a legend.
He was the NIPSCO guy for, Hammond, right? And I knew his daughter worked for me, so if I was off in the middle of the night, I'd just call his house and say, hey, man, go put the power back on, will you? And he would do it. But I go to this guy. I go, hey, man, give me your cell phone. He goes, I'm not doing that. I'm not Dog. He's got a reputation, put it that way. I miss
that's
him.
That's the stuff legends are made of. I'm glad the boys took care of you though.
Hey, they did. Thanks a lot. Talk to you. Hey, Matt Maloney, how are you?
Good morning. Once again, every time I'm on the air, we're not on the air. So, I'm like the Rodney Dangerfield of WJOB.
We're on the air right now.
We're on the air, yeah, but nobody listens on the celestial radio anymore. But yeah, good to be here.
God, Goddard is killing us on not being on YouTube. Hey, Adriana is supposed to be here at 7. She'll be here at 7:12, 7:13. Then we'll get on.
Bear down, Chicago Bears.
Hey, listen. Do you think that the Bears have any realistic chance of coming to Indiana?
Yesterday morning, I was on a group text with some of my buddies, and they asked me that question: what would you put the odds at? And I said, I'm putting all my money on Arlington Heights. I mean, the Bears own the land. It looked like a leverage ploy. Went to a function last night with some players and was involved in a different meeting. I would now put 25% of I'm hedging with 25% of my money on Northwest Indiana. It's a real possibility. There are real substantive conversations that have happened already.
So here's the thing. Who was I talking to? And I can't remember, but somebody said, oh, this will never happen. It was earlier this week. And I said, listen, the entire game has changed here. We have leaders who can make things happen, including you two. And I hate to, I'll blow smoke up your backside because you just gave me a check. So you get that today, all right?
That's for Highland Baseball. That's not for you.
It's not for me?
Shoot, I'm on auto pay to you guys, so I pay to do basketball games. You know that?
Yes, you do.
Most people get paid.
And so does Brent.
On-air talent.
Yeah. Both you guys.
It's the most amazing, gig.
Well, I mean, to be the Munster homer that you are, that you would have to pay to get that on the air.
Hey, man, right down the middle.
So listen, here's my theory, is that it has completely changed. We have always, and even you, Maloney, and I've had this conversation, that Northwest Indiana was undervalued housing, which you've taken advantage of. If you need a realtor, go to mattmaloney.com. And you've taken advantage of that. You moved down from the city or from Illinois, and you came over here and you go, man, this thing's ready to go. Of course, you were a former Board of Trade guy. You didn't know what to do, so they all become realtors. But instead of going down a dark path, but you were right. And I've always said, well, gosh, I don't know if this is ever going to happen. It's happening right now.
Oh, there's so much untapped potential in such proximity to the third largest economy in the world. Unfortunately, as much as we are insular in the region, we love the region, we need Chicago to be a viable enterprise. And the way it's going, Chicago could be in really, really big trouble. So what does that do for us? It creates some opportunities we have to take advantage of, but we also need Chicago to be a thriving metropolis and a business hub and not drive out guys like Ken Griffith. And, so it's a fine line we're walking, but we do have huge opportunity, and it's real. And I wouldn't be shocked if it actually happens.
All right. I'm going to take the other side of that. I don't know if we have to be worried and concerned about the health and prosperousness of Chicago. I mean, I understand that, and I understand.
Well, we just spent $1 billion to transport people from here to there.
I mean, who's to say that they can't transport them from there to here? You know what I mean? So I agree with that logic, and it's the same logic where we were the other day. You want Gary to thrive, right? And that as Gary goes, the region goes. Does it really? I mean, I don't know. I want Gary to do well, but not because I feel like guilty for the rest of the region. No, I want it just to do well on its own. I don't know if we need Chicago to be that strong. And certainly Chicago gets weaker if we steal the Bears.
Absolutely.
And I am all for that.
Why do you say that?
Because
did Dallas get weaker when they moved from Dallas to Arlington? I would make the opposite argument. It got bigger. They got the FIFA World Cup. They had the biggest boxing match ever. Those people aren't staying in Arlington; they're staying in Dallas.
I think you're talking apples and oranges.
Yeah,
though.
I mean,
why?
The Bears,
what's the difference?
The Bears at Soldier Field or Wrigley Field have been a staple of the identity of Chicago. And it goes deeper than just the economic impact. Now you've got a Northwest Indiana team. I guess you do have a point, because once they moved out of New York.
Football team or not, it's an $8 billion enterprise that would be moving across the border. I mean, you thought Lynn's Meat's moving half a mile across the border, and it is a huge enterprise. Think about an $8 billion business coming right down the lake, not far, a lot closer than going to Arlington Heights, So,
that's my point. I don't. In that localized area, is there a thing? But for the greater Chicago economy, I don't think it changes anything.
Chicago's got other problems, though.
So, all right, where would your number one site be, Maloney?
Trying to get me in trouble, but I think Hammond makes the most sense. With the proximity to Chicago, the proximity to Skyway and 8094, the South Shore Line access. I don't know exactly where they'd put it in Hammond. I kind of have an idea, but I think Hammond would be the logical choice. Obviously, Gary's going to have something to say about it. And if you thought the convention center battle was this could get interesting, which begs the question: does this new commission make the decision, You know, are they gonna get?
So I was doing some research to explain the commission, but most people probably don't know
Senator Earl Harris and a lot of people scoffed at him in the last legislative session. Proposed a Northwest Indiana professional sports commission that sole purpose was to attract a professional sports franchise to Northwest Indiana. Now, their realistic goal, I think, was to go after some minor league baseball teams, maybe something like the Savannah Bananas, and get them into the Railcat Stadium. But it was also, you know, the pie in the sky vision was to get the Chicago Bears to look at Northwest Indiana. One of the most forward-thinking things that has been done in the state of Indiana in a long time was what Senator Earl Harris did. Now that creates the political infrastructure to actually get this deal done. So
he's Matt Maloney. He is Brent Brazier. I'm Jim Dedelow, and I am going to call it a day right now.
And Adriana's here, so we might get on the air.
Adriana, we are not on YouTube, so you're probably going to have to start and do a new broadcast or something like that.
Okay.
And then so it might be a little bit longer. When we come back, Dan McNeil is going to join you guys, right? Is that right? Yes. Dan McNeil from Arizona is going to join these guys. And I want to just let you know ahead of time that we're going to be making a whole bunch of ruckus out here while you're doing that.
Of course. You know, we're not on the air. They're moving. It's like, you know, call me Rodney. I get no respect.
Hey, they'll be right back. Oh. Hey, guys, I'll see you guys again next week. Once in a while over the holidays, I just pop in and play some music. And if all goes well, I usually come in on Christmas morning and play a little bit of music. So I'll be here on Tuesday with Verley. And until then, I'll see you later on the Voice and Face of the Region.
God has decked thee. Thou bidst us true and faithful be, and trust in God unchangingly. Oh, Christmas tree, how richly God has decked thee.
Good morning, everyone. You are listening to the morning show on WJOB 1230 AM 104.7 FM at the Shack and Vento Studios, and you are also watching live on YouTube. We got the YouTube back on, and I will say, I got to shout out one of these YouTube comments. They said it's like Clark Griswold trying to get the Christmas lights to work.
Yeah.
I will say that's the analogy I will now be using every time that I fix something. But let's take a look at our traffic and weather. Traffic right now in the Northwest region is looking pretty good. 80 going east and west is looking good. 90 going east and west is looking good. Chicago Skyways totals are looking good, as well as Lakeshore Drive. Not a lot of traffic on the Bishop Ford or Dan Ryan, so we're seeing pretty good traffic flow. May have a little bit of traffic right there on 55 Stevenson Expressway going north right there by South Damon Avenue, as well as a little bit of traffic on the 290 East Eisenhower Expressway right there at Illinois 50 at Cicero Avenue. Let's see here. And then we do got an accident on the Kennedy I-90 west before Illinois 43 Harlem Avenue. Exits 81A. That was updated about 11 minutes ago. So you may see a little bit of traffic right there on 90 going west, right around the airports. Let's take a look at our weather for today. On Friday for today, highs of 60. Sorry, not 60. Wow.
60, yeah. Let's play some golf.
There you go. 26 degrees, lows of 22, breezy and much cooler with clouds breaking from some sun. Saturday, we warm up a little bit. Not quite 60 degrees, maybe some golf simulator. But we got 44 degrees as a high, 20 as a low, breezy with times of clouds and sun. Some may say that's good enough for golf. Me personally, I think that's a little cold.
Yeah, it needs to be in the 50s.
Sunday, we are seeing highs of 30 degrees, lows of 24, colder with plenty of sunshine, quiet weather for early holiday travels as we head into the holiday season, where we may even see a high of 60 on Christmas. It says the high is 59, the low is 37.
Well, and I would like to welcome you in this morning, Adriana.
Thank
We're
you.
glad you're here. And if you're listening on the radio, the YouTube feed is now live because we have someone in the station who knows what's going on. Jimmy has left the building.
Don't jinx me now. Everything's going to go. Woo.
So, Paul, if you're watching now, sorry for the delays. Thanks for your updates. And we'll have fun from here on out. We've got a caller.
Yes, we do.
I mentioned this earlier, but Matt and I had this discussion earlier in the week. We're not going to talk about any of the crappy stuff going on in politics in our country today. We are going to talk about the biggest year in football in the history of the state of Indiana. I'm a college football fan.
There you go.
Matt's a pro football fan.
Who's
But we also have the Bears in first place, and then the big news that we're moving to that they're going to be moving to where they're going to be the Indiana Bears.
Yeah, baby.
And to discuss that and all things football, my good friend, Chicago sports radio legend Dan McNeil is joining us from sunny Arizona. Good morning, Dan. Are you on?
Oh, man, it's good to hear your voice, and it's good to know that you're not going to get to 60 this weekend because I only have to wait 3.5 more hours before it turns 60 here in Mesa. As I was listening to the weather report, I punched in weather.com real fast, and I see we have sunny skies again today here with virtually no wind and 0% chance of precipitation, and I'm 17 miles from gorgeous Lake Saguaro, which is a little unknown gem here in the valley. And had I known about this, Brent, all those years I was coming out to spring training every February and March, I would have boated a lot of fish in the state of Arizona. Better late than never, though, right?
That's it, man. You playing golf today?
I'm not going to golf today. The back is a little iffy because I've not put the work in. You know, I sometimes preach to my fellow lower back pain sufferers, look, it's not just about not just about medications and going to a chiropractor. You got to put some effort into it back. And frankly, I've been a little bit lazy the last 8 weeks. So I got to pick that up a little bit if I'm going to be more comfortable. But enough about me. And the state of Indiana is back in the news. I chuckled so hard the other day. I watched the ABC 7 News some weekday mornings out here, and I wanted to see what I might have missed the night before, what happened with Trump's address to the nation, and we're not going to talk about that, thank you. And I see the Bears in Indiana. This is the same same script that was written, Brent, 32 years ago. In our second year on the air at the Score, the Bears and the city weren't getting close, and Gary popped up as a possibility. And before he was a national celebrity, Lester Holt was the anchor on CBS 2 in Chicago. He actually interviewed my partner, Terry Bors, and I, when we were on the air at 6:02, they led their 6 o'clock newscast with us to talk about the Bears. Man, I was a region guy through and through, and said, we don't all have straw in our teeth in this state. Come on down. And I think finally people have realized Northwest Indiana is not Kentucky. It's I think the casinos have helped. Chicago people forever. You drive in from Indiana every day. Yeah, I do. Crossing state lines where area codes and zip codes change. It's very dangerous stuff, and it takes me 40 minutes to get downtown. I think that perception has faded radically. So I don't think, at least from people who are thinking people, I don't think there'll be much pushback on that. But the Bears are just such a joke when it comes to this facilities project. You invest in 326 acres of property in Arlington Heights, yet you don't have all your ducks in a row with the municipalities involved and the government and how much of the stadium or entertainment facility will be state funded. It's just such an unending cycle, and it just continues to pee all over Bears fans because they do need to get out of that stadium. That stadium is an embarrassment.
I didn't realize it was the smallest stadium in the NFL.
Oh, it had. Yeah, they made it smaller.
Well,
when they redid Soldier Field in 02, the Bears had to play at the University of Illinois, so they give their team 16 road games before they went to 17-game schedule. They played all of their games on the road because they played Champaign 8 times. And they made the stadium it was 65,000. They chopped it down to 61.5. It's the smallest stadium in the league.
That renovation was.
Has anybody ever done a stadium expansion that loses seats?
That renovation was $600 million. The Bears, I assume they split it 3 ways. The Bears, NFL, and the city of Chicago, 200. So the Bears and the NFL each paid off that bond in 2002. The city of Chicago's portion today
is bigger than what it was when it started.
$500 million. And the state of Illinois is asking the Bears to pay that off as part of the deal to get their tax abatements in Arlington Heights.
Why would they do that?
I don't know. I think I just lost my...
Yeah, I did too. Adriana?
We're off the air or something.
I can't hear anything.
No, you guys are fine. I can hear you.
Danny, are you there?
I am here, yeah. Another day in Jedville.
Ooh,
yeah.
Down just a little bit.
Get Sam Michael in to keep the torch lit.
Yeah. So
we're living on a prayer here.
The Bears, and the whole discussion about public funding for these things can wait. My opinion is that provide the organization with the needed infrastructure for the site and let them pay to build it, right? However, that may or may not happen, but just on the portion of them moving, do you think this was a discussion Matt and I had last night, is this the same, and you mentioned this is the same show that they played 20-something years ago, is this just an act to get leverage over the state of Illinois? Or if I read the press release from Kevin, what's his name?
Warren.
Kevin Warren.
Warren, yeah. And he said, look, we were told by these politicians that they would take care of this, and then they said, you know what, we're not even going to take it up, and we're not going to take it up. They've already told them it's not going to be on our agenda for 2026, right? So is it, at that point, do the Bears go, do we look elsewhere, or do we hope that they come around and want us to shell out this money to pay up Chicago's portion of this bond? Right? I mean, is there more of a reality of them going, hey, you know what? We tried this once before, and now we're actually going to do it.
I think that could exist, but I also think both parties seem to want to play a zero-sum game. When Illinois says we're not going to look at it in 26, they're basically putting a gun to the Bears' head. So how do the Bears respond instead of saying, all right, let's be more amiable here and let's get this done, God damn it? Instead, they float it right back. We'll go to Indiana. And the governor of Indiana says, come on down. I just love it. But, hey, let's get back to Caleb Williams being a disappointing draft pick. Because as good as he's been this year, I think it's time to get our heads around the idea that America was wrong. When everybody suggested, except very few, that the Bears are absolutely nuts if they don't choose Caleb Williams. And you have to go with the quarterback for a franchise that has had one, and his last year in the league was 1959, I think, or 49. Luck. Come on. You had to do it, but it's looking like Drake May, probably Jaden Daniels, probably C.J. Stroud.
No.
Well, we'll see. How about, okay, you're going to dismiss his rookie year because the Commanders are struggling? Go ahead. Have at it. I'm going to base it on year one just as much as I am the first 15 games of this year, and the dude's been hurt.
What's the best ability in sports? Availability.
Availability.
And he's a twig. He's never gonna be able to stick around. Drake May, I'll give you Drake May. I don't think Caleb Williams is the bust he's not a bust.
No, he's not a bust. He was the wrong quarterback to choose number one, though. Yeah, I'm not going to say he's a bust. The dude's barely turned it over. But his completion percentage is terrible again.
Yeah.
His yards per game, and give him credit, they run the ball well. Ben Johnson's done a nice job. Caleb Williams has done a nice job. I'm not being an assassin of their quarterback. I'm not killing him. I'm just saying, you know what? It looks like they did not get their certain bust in Canton. Everybody thought they were going to get.
Surprise, surprise! It's the Bears.
Well,
they drafted Mitch Trubisky, for God's sake.
Yeah, they did.
Well, looking at the QB rankings this year, Caleb is 19.
Yeah,
in the bottom half of the league.
He's very inefficient.
Well, it was my Auburn guy, Bo Nix.
Here we go.
He's 14. And I think he was.
Tiger.
He was taken. I think 14th or 15th.
Where's Drake May?
Drake May's 4th.
Wow.
Drake May's 4th. So
yeah, and you also have Jordan Love in the mix, who I think. Man.
He was
right. He wasn't in the same draft class. No, he's not in the same draft class. But how much does it hurt meathead Bear fans that the Packers have gone from Favre to Rodgers to another guy who kicks their ass every time he gets on the field with them? Green Bay is good on the road this year. Micah Parsons out, flips the number yesterday. The Packers are now a 1.5-point dog. I'm going to let Bears fans drive that number up to 3.5 because they're going to pound their team foolishly today and tomorrow. And then just before kickoff, I'll see if I can get it even higher. I'll tease it up to Green Bay plus 10. And I'm going to come out of wagering retirement, and I'm going to flourish for Christmas.
Well, Jordan Love, the number one ranked quarterback this season.
Yes,
he's the highest QB rating.
Really?
Man, and I never will forget how cool he was at the end of the game when the Packers needed a touchdown to beat the Bears 2 years ago, or last season, the first time they met, before the interim coach beat Green Bay to end the streak at 10, the losing streak. He was so cool on third down, and he was slinging it all over the field, and receivers no one knew except, Bo Melton, a Seahawks cast off, and Dontavian Wicks. and 2 tight ends, or Luke Musgrave was one of them, and Kraft the other. They're just going right down the field, converting third down after third down against Chicago's vaunted defense. And it's like, man, Green Bay has just got your number. And I think the streak goes to 2. They won game 1 at Lambeau earlier this year. Packers, they're going to win this one too. Green Bay's going to win that game tomorrow night.
Oh, I hope you're wrong.
Well, since Brett Favre took over the Packers in '92, so you had Favre, you had Rodgers, and now you got Love. The Bears have used 38 starting quarterbacks in that same time. And the Packers used a few here or there for injuries, but those were their starters, right?
Let me give you, by the way, the Packers, sorry to interrupt, Brent, but Seneca Wallace was one of those green. You love college football. You remember him from his Iowa State days.
He was great
from Seneca to Cuyahoga Falls. And they had, who was it? Brett Hundley. Brett Hundley won in Chicago. Brett frickin' Hundley before, I might have been his first or second NFL start, and he beat the Bears.
So since '92, Matt Flynn started 6 games. Brett Hundley started 9. Scott Tolzien, wow, that's a name I haven't heard in a long time, started 2, and Seneca Wallace started 1. Now, the Bears, you got Harbaugh.
Oh, don't even go there.
Wait. Peter Tom Willis. You remember that guy?
Willis,
well,
Florida State.
And it is like being the tallest, I can't say little person, but Caleb Williams is the best quarterback the Bears have ever had.
Moses Marino?
Danny Mack, can you argue with that fact?
I'll argue that. I don't think he's the best they've ever had yet. Let's see him get to the playoffs. Can you get us to the playoffs? Can you win a playoff game? Last time the Bears won a playoff game, the NFC Championship. In the year they went to the Super Bowl, I believe. No, they got to the couple years later. They got to the NFC title.
I thought they won one. They got to the NFC Championship when they double doink, or what game was that?
No, that was round 1. They were hosting the Eagles. That's the Eagles were a wild card, came in here and double doink, and everyone blamed the kicker when the damn quarterback took 3.5 quarters to get. Mitch was terrible, like he was all of that first halves that season, except the Week 5 date against the Bucs.
It's been a ridiculously long time, though, since they've been won a
playoff. Let's re-enjoy. Let's get back to that list, Brian. Give me some more of those Bears' greatest hits. It's like, I like the glam band Sweet because they've got a few little kitschy songs, but Fox on the Run But they put out a greatest hits album that was like 23 cuts deep. Let's go over the Bears' greatest hits. What did you say? 38 quarterbacks? 35.
Jim Harbaugh, Peter Tom Willis, big Florida State guy, wasn't Peter Tom? Will Fuhrer?
Will Fuhrer, yeah, Mein Fuhrer, Virginia Tech product. Bears fans loved him because he was a fiery left-hander.
Steve Walsh.
Yep.
Eric Kramer.
My brother tried to make the argument that Eric Kramer was the best quarterback in the Bears.
Well, and for a single season, your brother's right. His record still stands, dudes. This is the lowest single season record in the NFL. Eric Kramer in 95, when Wani's Bears surprisingly upset the Vikings on New Year's Day in a playoff win on the road. That year, Kramer threw for 3,838 yards. That remains the lowest. That's the only team in the NFL whose single-season record doesn't exceed 4,000 yards. And Caleb Williams is in year 2, and he's a push to get there this year. He's going to have to really finish strong to eclipse, that record. And Eric threw 29 touchdown passes that year. That also is a franchise record. That also is the lowest single-season number for all 32 teams. Yeah, the Bears are the most storied franchise in the league. Keep talking, man. God almighty.
So, to continue, Dave Craig, Rick Meyer.
Dave Craig, yeah, he had very little hands. He had hamster hands. You know what they say about guys with small hands, Brent? Small gloves. Buy him small gloves for Christmas.
Rick Meyer.
They traded a number 1 pick for Rick Meyer, who didn't win a game for the Bears.
And his son,
he was 0-3.
His son just threw a touchdown pass against Notre Dame for Stanford. Did you see that? Second string quarterback.
I know.
He spent most
Rick
of his
Meyer's son.
He was in Seattle, right? Rick Meyer.
Yeah.
He had a pretty good career out there.
Pick.
Yeah.
They were just ecstatic. He had 1 good season out of 4 with the Seahawks. Boy, I should write a book about the Bears. Wait a minute. I did, and nobody bought it. This is all so easily retainable because I just published the book within the last year. And I slammed it together in 9 months. A 10-game losing streak certainly does not help sales. Jesus. Yeah, I'm a little bitter at those pricks.
Can you go on to Amazon and buy that book?
Name. What's that?
Can you go on to Amazon and buy that book?
Amazon, just rapes, smaller house guys, I'll find a way to get it to you and get it you so you can get the audience. Because I've got 100 of them left, and I'd love to unload them.
I'll be a paying customer.
So Steve Sindstrom?
Never.
Steve Sindstrom out of Stanford, yes, number 18.
Moses Moreno?
Moses Moreno was on my radio show.
I've never even heard that name.
First, Colorado State, I think a late round draft pick. Moses came on my show before his first career start against the Buccaneers, and he had the greatest malaprop, the greatest misspeak I've ever heard. He said, I said, well, it's your turn now. Everybody else is hurt. You're going to go down there and you're going to try to win a divisional game on the road. The Bears were in their division then. And he said, yep, it's my turn to claim my steak. It's like, Terry and I just chuckled. He's not going to stake a claim. He's going to claim a stake. And he threw the only touchdown pass of his career in that game, but the Bears lost. So no stake was claimed.
Shane Matthews, start of some Florida quarterbacks, right? Great career in Florida.
He was the SEC's career-leading passer when he left.
Yeah, he beat Auburn one time. That's when they had the old ball coach down there in Florida, chunking the ball all over the place.
Love Steve Spurrier, War Tiger.
I love him too. He's a great coach. Cade McNown.
That's a bust. See, you can't call Mitch Trubisky a bust. He started a lot of games for them. A bust is a guy who can't get on the field. Cade McNown does have on his resume a road win against the Packers, but he was gone in 2 years, and they couldn't trust him to look at game film. Even the night before a game, Jim Miller told me, he said, Cade, let's go over your checks. And he said, no, he was on the phone with his friend Scott Kahn, Jimmy Kahn's son, the actors, and because they were buddies at UCLA. And he goes, I don't want to do that. And Miller told me that he said the other, I think Matthews was on this roster still then, and he said, I told him we're going to get our asses kicked. And OC wanted to pull him, and Dick Duran stuffed it up his boss's backside and said, no, they wanted this guy. This is what they're going to get. And they left him out there against the Niners for 4 quarters to get assassinated.
Jim Miller, you just mentioned, 99. He went 15-12. He's 0-3 against the Packers.
Tough quarterback.
13-3 in 2001 were the Bears. Now that was a run-driven team, but Jim didn't turn it over.
He wore the high top black
old school
spikes too. Yeah.
Chris Chandler.
Don't remember Chris Chandler.
Yeah, Chris Chandler briefly, former Falcons quarterback.
Henry Burris.
Yes, the Canadian Football League starter. Was it against the Vikings? Never mind. It doesn't matter. He probably lost it.
Yeah, he was against the Packers. He lost 30-20. He completed his only pass.
Did we get to Vince Evans yet?
No, Cordell Stewart. I didn't realize Cordell Stewart.
very brief tenure.
I was having a discussion with my son last night about Cordell Stewart.
Really?
The original
They
Slash.
got him before the 03 season, yeah, and they opened against the 49ers that year and just got disemboweled.
Then, old sexy Rexy, Rex Grossman, took him to a Super Bowl. Another Florida guy.
He went with him. I don't know if he took him.
He was there.
That team was so good defensively. You know what? We have not given enough credit.
Was that the
over
Lovie
the years.
Smith team?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then they got rid of him shortly after that,
GM. Right? Well, they gave him a few more years. He finished I think he got fired finally at the end of the 11 season or 12 before Mark Trestman, Mark with a C, stepped in. Yeah, that was another. This team, I love it. It amuses me so much that they have a license to fail because the geographical region, 8 million, 10 million people that circle Chicago within a 100-mile radius always will show up. They're like alcohol during a depression. You're still going to make money. It doesn't matter how bad they are. It's a 50-year history of bad, folks, barring the 85 season.
Well, that's what people are pointing to as Kevin Warren's biggest accomplishment was getting the McCaskies to pay Ben Johnson. You know, there's a lot of Kevin Warren hate out there yesterday on the interwebs. I was reading, you know, he was hired to do one job, he can't get it done, blah, 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 blah. But, you know, the defenders were saying, well, he got them to open the checkbook for Ben Johnson. So, I don't know.
Yes.
So,
to his credit, I didn't think they would spend $14 million. I thought for sure they would keep it much lower than that. But I'll be quick because I know we have to get to Jay Cutler's name and Jason Campbell's name and Matt Barkley.
Let me run through a few of these quick ones. Craig Krenzel played 5 games. Chad Hutchinson 5 games. Jonathan Quinn 3 games. Kyle Orton was in there for a few years. 21-12 record from 05 to 08. Brian Greasy, talking about nepotism. Brian Greasy probably should have never been in the NFL, but that's just me. And then you got Cutler, the longest tenured quarterback, I would say, since McMahon, right?
Yeah, Cutler at this point, and I hate him. I hate what he did. I don't hate him, but he's got to be the best quarterback in Bears history, despite his blemishes.
McMahon's got to be the best quarterback in Bears history.
Well, because he won, but again, McMahon was a tremendous leader. Rex Grossman, gave the ball to Thomas Jones. McMahon gave the ball to Walter Payton, but those guys played hard every snap because they loved their ringleader because he would stand up to McCaskey and Ditka and tell him where to go.
I think McMahon had the greatest moments, obviously, in Bears history, and what he did in Minnesota is legendary. But in terms of a career, you can't say he was the best quarterback in Bears history. And you can't say that about Caleb Williams, obviously, yet. But I think talent-wise is where I'm going. I think he's the most talented quarterback the Bears have ever had.
So
that's
after Cutler, you got Todd Collins. And then, I didn't even remember this one, the first Caleb Haney.
Oh, yeah, Caleb Haney, who had to quarterback the Bears in the second half of the NFC title game against the Packers because Cutler mysteriously was hurt.
Oh, yeah.
And they didn't remember that? What a day that was.
That's when the whole meme started with him smoking a cigarette on the sideline.
Smoking Jay. That's one of the greatest memes in history. But yeah, Caleb Haney, who shaved his mustache for the post-game news conference. That was his highlight. He threw a touchdown pass in that game too. B.J. Raji of the Packers, the fat defensive tackle, had a pick 6 against Caleb in the second half. Keep going. I love this.
The second McNown, Josh McCown.
Josh McCown.
Yeah.
Oh, he prospered under Mark Trestman, whether he was slinging it to Brandon Marshall or Alshon Jeffrey. Yeah, Jeffrey, I can't remember. Scottie Pippins. Yeah, that was fun.
And then I didn't know this. Auburn guy.
The booth is saying the booth is saying Jay Cutler was the most talented quarterback in Bears history.
Yeah, none of them were born when McMahon played. Jason Campbell. I didn't know Jason Campbell ever played for the Bears. Good Auburn quarterback.
He stepped in. He had just one of the worst against. I think it was against the 49ers. He was a fifth spot starter, and it was just one of the ugliest Bears losses. And that was an island game, a nationally televised game. Don't remember if it was a Thursday or a Monday. But Jason Campbell, oof. Well, Tiger.
Jimmy Clausen?
Jimmy Clausen took his Bears to Seattle for a start, and Pete Carroll's defense. This was in the glory era of the Seahawks, the Legion of Boom or Doom, whatever it was. He just was terrible. I think the Bears converted 3 times on third down the entire day.
Then you got Matt Barkley, Brian Hoyer, and you get to Trubisky. 29-21 record. After Trubisky, you had Mike Glennon.
Yeah.
Remember that guy?
Yeah.
Chase Daniel, little tiny Chase. Was he at Purdue?
This is so depressing.
Then you had Nick Foles
for
a couple of years. Ended up, that was after he won the Super Bowl, wasn't it? Then
yes, he had won the Super Bowl. Yeah, it was Philly special, and Nick Foles is going to come here and do great things, and the Tom Petty stunt double did not.
Then Andy Dalton, and I got a great Andy Dalton story because he's played for everybody. I was running the Westin in Austin, and my buddy Isaac, still a good friend of mine, was my bartender. It was like a Saturday in the spring, and I was back in the kitchen and in my office, and Isaac comes out. He's like, "Man, there's a guy that looks just like Andy Dalton sitting over here drinking beer by himself." And I was like, no way. I go out and look. Kind of looks like him. What would Andy Dalton be doing sitting alone in the West and drinking beer on a Saturday afternoon? An hour or so goes by. Isaac comes running back. He goes, "I got his credit card. It is Andy Dalton. I just went and talked to him. His wife's from Austin. She's here visiting her folks, and he can't stand them." That's my Andy Dalton story. But he's the guy. You talk about guys awesome. Played all over the league, right? I mean, he's been everywhere.
Yeah, well, he's well-traveled, and I tell you what, that's a guy who I think has had he should really be proud of his NFL career. Despite not getting to the promised land, he was a tough son of a bitch who was terrific for the Bengals for a number of years. And he got hurt in week 2, I think, when Mitch was a rookie, and boy, coaching staff did not. John Fox wanted nothing to do with Mitch. So Mike Glennon was hired for, I think, $11 million. You mentioned Mike Glennon. He had a neck up on the competition. Remember the giraffe-looking Mike Glennon? He's on the all-neck team with Harvey Williams and Merton Hanks.
So after let's see, Glennon, Chase Daniel, Nick Foles, Andy Dalton. Then you get to the Justin Fields era. This has an interesting stat. He threw more interceptions than touchdowns against the Packers. Then Tyson Bagent.
Yeah.
I love Tyson Bagent.
And then I think, Matt, I think you're right. I think if Caleb Williams continues, he's the best quarterback they've ever had.
It's not saying a lot, but.
Well, I mean, you just heard 38 names since 92.
That's just so sad. I mean, how do you miss that many times? I mean, the personnel issues are just.
They miss at these 3 positions. Quarterback, like first round, I'm talking about. In the first round, since '83, when they drafted Jimbo Covert, they haven't found a stud tackle in the first round. Not once. And they've tried it 3 or 4 times. You got the kid from Vanderbilt, Chris Williams, who busted out. You got Mark Colombo out of Boston College. I think he was technically the second-round pick, but I think he was the 32nd player chosen. But someone lost a draft pick that year. God. This just delights me. Thank you for making my day. Since I got to wait until until 11 o'clock your time for the temperature to hit 60 here in Arizona. I get to reflect on all Bears badness. This just warms my heart.
Well, I was mentioning to Matt because I think with the second hour we got to talk. And I want your I know you're not primarily a college guy, but I want your opinion on a couple things. But if you right now parlay the Hoosiers to win the national championship and the Bears to win the Super Bowl, $100 will get you 10,000.
Well, you know what? I'd be tempted to take your $100 and risk it, but I don't have the FU money I used to have.
So while we're on that, let's get back. So your opinion is the Bears stay in Chicago, somewhere in Illinois. If you're
I think they will ultimately, yeah. And I don't know if I'll see it in my lifetime. I'm 64 years old. This debate it's 30 years old now. Why would 30 plus years old since they needed to get out of that god awful edifice on the lakefront? Oh, it's terrible. Yeah, let's put a spaceship around this place, but keep the precious colonnades. I don't think they'll leave Illinois. If they do, bring them on. I think Northwest Indiana would love to have them, and I don't know where you put them. I don't know what the discussion has been. I'm not sure how much you guys have looked into that, or if the papers there, the Times and the Post-Tribune, have been on it. I don't know where the proposed facility would go. Have they said anything?
Well, there's no specific sites yet, but
Well, you got to have one. That's important. They found a site in Arlington Heights.
Yeah.
They just didn't have anything else done. Hey, we got this big piece of land. It's only 25 miles from downtown. Let's get it.
The talks are more serious.
The
talks are more serious than I would have thought. There have been some high level, real discussions that actually put stuff on paper and had lawyers involved and everything with the right people. So
good.
It's more of a possibility than I thought. So
good.
We got to take a break.
Yep. Hey, Dan, thanks so much for calling. Have a Merry Christmas out there. I know you won't be getting a white Christmas. It doesn't look like we are either, as the temperatures are going to get in the 60. But let's talk again as the season progresses and before we get to the playoffs. All right, brother?
I'd love to, and let's do some Indiana football. I am writing Coach Signetti's Hall of Fame induction speech right now.
Yeah,
he's in. First ballot.
I could talk to you for hours. This was great.
Yeah, thanks, man. I enjoyed it too.
Hey, Merry Christmas, Dan. We're going to take a short break, and we'll be back after this.
Good morning, everyone. You are listening to the morning show on WJOB 1230 AM, 104.7 FM in Hammond, Indiana. And you are also watching live on YouTube. It is Friday, December 19th, about to be 8 a.m., 7:59 a.m. We're going to do a little bit of traffic and weather right now. So traffic in the Northwest region is looking pretty good. 80 going east and west is looking good. 90 going east and west toll roads are looking good. We're seeing good traffic flow on the on the Bishop Ford and Dan Ryan. Chicago Skyways are looking pretty good. Lakeshore Drive is looking good. We still got a little bit of traffic on that accident that was earlier on the Kennedy, I-90 west before Illinois 43, Harlem Avenue, exit 81A. We still got a little bit of traffic headed over there in that area. Same thing with Stevenson Expressway going north. A little bit of traffic right there by South Damon Avenue. And on the Eisenhower Expressway going east on the 290 right there by Independence Boulevard. A little bit of traffic there, as well as 94 East. We're seeing heavy traffic right as you get to West Division Street. Let's take a look at weather for today. Currently, right now, at the Strack and Van Til Studios, it is a very warm 12 degrees. Today, we are seeing highs of 26 degrees, lows of 22. Breezy and much cooler with clouds breaking in for some sun. On Saturday, we jump up in highs of 44 degrees and lows of 20 degrees. Breezy with clouds and sun. Perfect weather for when the Bears play Packers. And then on Sunday, we are seeing highs of 30 degrees, lows of 24. Sunny and cooler with increasing cloudiness.
And don't forget on Sunday, the annual Frosty Walk at 7 p.m., leaving from the Lost Marsh Clubhouse. You'll walk to the Lost Marsh Woods and recite Robert Frost's Stopping by the Woods on a Snowy Evening. Kind of a cool tradition.
Yeah.
For the winter solstice, the shortest day of the year. So that's 7 p.m., leaving from the Lost Marsh Clubhouse with Mr. Dabberton's brother. So that's kind of cool.
Yeah. It's a fun thing. I think it has some fun weather to get out there and do it.
Sure.
So we spent the first hour, we just kind of made things up as Jim fumbled around with technology until Adriana got here. We just had Dan McNeil on to talk about the Bears. We kind of recapped the history of the Bears' ineptness at quarterback and how Caleb Williams is doing. But they're leading the division, so you can't argue with that much. But the big thing I wanted to talk about being a college football fan is the Hoosiers. And
Hoosiers?
I grew up went to school grew up in Alabama, went to school in Auburn, and I didn't really care much about pro football until I was a little bit older because all we cared about in the South was college football. And to see Indiana, I was able to take some time off work and I watched that Ohio State-Indiana game, and Indiana is for real. They have a fantastic football team.
It is the most incredible turnaround in my lifetime in any sport. I don't care if it's an individual, golf, any organized sport. It is the most incredible turnaround. Let me paint a picture. My kids both went to Indiana starting in for 8 years straight. I had a child on campus there. Probably was in this football stadium for a total of 2 quarters in those 8 seasons. Went to a lot of tailgates. Never went into the game. In fact, 2022, Tommy was a senior. We were watching the game at Kilroy's after tailgating because why go into the game? They're playing Michigan State. Now, this is 2022, 3 years ago. Tommy and I, unbeknownst to each other, both had money on Michigan State. So we're in Kilroy's and trying to be subdued when Michigan State scored because everybody's mad. That's how bad Indiana was.
I will contrast that with I spent 5 years at Auburn. I'm not a doctor, but I was in college for 5 years, and I didn't miss a home game. I went to probably 25% of the road games. And I never left a game early, and I never sat down in the stadium.
The majority of the kids would tailgate their behinds off, go back to their fraternity house or dorm room and sleep it off, and then go out that night after the game.
See,
nobody went in the game.
We're just built different. We'd start drinking when game day was on. game day ended, you went to the fraternity house or to a tailgate.
Well,
you're in the stadium. When you're a pledge, you had to get to the stadium at the crack of dawn and stand there and save seats. But
it's like that now. Obviously,
yeah,
there's a
well,
product.
you start winning.
There was no product. I mean, I don't blame anybody.
And then the Heisman. This is your first Heisman in Indiana, right? I mean, that's a big deal.
Pinnacle of the college football universe. Yeah. I mean, number one in the country, the Heisman Trophy winner. I mean, this is stuff that you would expect out of a Notre Dame. You know,
Notre Dame, who kind of got shafted. They let the 3-loss Alabama in.
I think Notre Dame did get shafted.
And the first game is tonight, right? Oklahoma Alabama is tonight, and the winner of that game will play the Hoosiers.
Yep, in the Rose Bowl.
Oklahoma's a 1.5 dog at home. Is that right?
Yeah, a lot of people touting Oklahoma's defense.
Well, I will tell you, Alabama struggled to beat Auburn, and Auburn was pathetic.
Yeah, and Georgia just blew the doors off Alabama. Alabama doesn't belong in the CFP.
No, Georgia, Kirby Smart, where he learned to coach, he absolutely put belt to ass. They didn't have any part of that. They were dominated in every facet of that game.
-3 rushing yards in the second half by Alabama. I mean, it's just
Auburn had more rushing yards that week than Alabama did, and we didn't play.
Yeah, that's where Notre Dame got shafted. You know.
But Notre Dame, we were discussing this last night, Notre Dame has kind of got it figured out, though, because when they agreed to this, they're the only big independent left. Now, going forward, as long as they're ranked in the top 12, they will be one of the 12 teams that gets in. They get an automatic bid just like a conference champion.
Yeah, and there's been some talk that other athletic directors got wind of that, and now they're not going to schedule.
But they already signed the deal.
Sure.
Right?
The schedules are made 5-6 years
out.
Well,
they're changing them. Alabama already dropped somebody.
The early season games.
Kirby Smart said they're going to honor the games that they have on the.
Yeah.
And I think that's been great for college football.
Well, Texas, Ohio State earlier this season, it cost Texas a chance to make the playoffs. I mean, Notre Dame played 2 really tough games early in the season, lost them both. So, but the fact that they were ranked, the CFP committee had them positioned to be in the playoff, and then just mysteriously had Alabama jump them, and then didn't punish Alabama for just getting smoked in the
Alabama jumped them after squeaking by
Auburn,
the worst Auburn team in 25 years.
Yeah, it made no sense. So, but Notre Dame, forget about Notre Dame.
Let's talk about the
Hoosiers, man. It's the most incredible. Kurt Cignetti. I read yesterday that the Giants are interviewing him.
He's not going anywhere.
Fake news.
Can I say something?
Yeah, you're a former quarterback, Joe.
You can't penalize Alabama for losing
a
championship. No, you can't, because then what's the point of making the championship?
Well, 17 times in the past, a team has lost in their conference championship, and they've fallen in the rankings.
So
the only time that ever has since they've been doing the rankings for the playoffs, going back to the BCS, if you lose your conference championship, you drop in the rankings. Right, this year in Alabama is the only time they didn't.
That's 14 playoff, though. That's different.
But no, it's since that started. Every time a team has lost in their conference championship. What about BYU?
If the conference championship,
BYU lost 2 games to the number 4. They've only lost 2. Texas Tech beat them twice. They were in the top 12. They lost their conference championship. They dropped to like 14. They've only lost twice to the number 4 team in the country.
They are so sad, though. To be honest with you, they're so sad.
Who?
As a team, BYU. They're
right,
not,
but I'm saying you can't say that Alabama shouldn't drop.
If you think that's a problem,
Georgia beat the hell out of Alabama.
Notre Dame should join the conference.
They should.
It would solve every problem. It would solve every problem.
Well, they already got it figured out. They're automatic. They're getting an automatic bid.
Alabama,
3-loss Alabama team does not deserve to be there.
If the conference championships didn't matter, why did Indiana and Ohio State flip-flop from 1 to 2? If you're throwing out the results of the conference championship game, right there. There was a result.
That's a little different. I mean, you're talking still, it's 2 first-round buys. It's not like the end of the world. I mean, you're talking playoff versus no playoff. I mean, if you're going to put Alabama in there, then you have to take Notre Dame out because of Miami, right? You have to respect the head-to-head. And I don't know. I think Alabama.
You might be right. resume aside, why was Notre Dame ranked ahead of Alabama the whole time, and that week flipped? What changed?
They beat Auburn in a literally the worst team Auburn's had in 25 years.
Yeah. Well, who cares? Like I said, I mean, there's not enough, and
Hey,
probably good. Signetti probably doesn't want a whole lot of spotlight on them, but this Indiana story, they're going to write. There'll be a 30 for 30 about it for sure. It is just absolutely.
I mean, are you saying they're like the team of destiny now?
Possibly. I think they've got some holes. I think their defense really stepped up against Ohio State. Their offense didn't really click. It clicked when they needed it to. But I don't know. There's certainly
hey Joe,
they'll beat Oklahoma or Alabama. I guarantee you that.
So what happens tonight? Alabama is favored.
No, Oklahoma's 1.5 point.
Are they open a favor? Is it shifted?
Hang on.
I thought it was Oklahoma. Anyway, so 1.5, whatever. They go into Oklahoma, and what if Oklahoma just wears them out?
Then I'll come on here and say I was wrong.
I think Oklahoma's got quarterback problems. The quarterback's hasn't been great all year, but he's hurt.
Well, he was good at the beginning of the season. Then he got that hand surgery, and he's been.
Dumb. I hear it's on the
But
mend.
he's having. I thought he was having problems with it again.
James Madison has a better chance of winning than Alabama.
I actually picked James Madison in my bracket.
They're getting 21.5. You might as well.
I believe the hype, man. I love it.
I
don't know if I actually believe it, but I love it.
I've heard a lot of people complain about them getting in, but the way it was written, it's the five highest ranked conference champions, and I think that's kind of makes it great. It's just like the NCAA's. Think about all the 5-12s, man, in the basketball tournament. Who knows if what I mean? Can you imagine the hype if
Sure,
James
one of these
Madison
years it's going
goes
to
to
happen.
Oregon and wins that game?
One of these years it's going to happen, but
Right,
it's
but
much
I
more
think-
unlikely in football than basketball.
I agree.
Football are different. Look
in
at
basketball, it's so much easier to just get hot.
Look at the early
Right.
rounds of the Indiana high school football playoffs.
I mean,
it's 52-0. It's
well,
crazy.
in football, it's so much about depth.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, you can have 5 good starters on any basketball team and pretty much win a game. But
right.
The athletes and the depth is what's James Madison's going to struggle with. But I think I would rather have seen James Madison and Notre Dame in than Alabama. Both more deserving to
Preaching
me.
to the choir here.
I thought they were honestly going to put Alabama in at 12 instead of James Madison. I was surprised to see them, but I'm kind of excited for it.
Yeah. Well, I as the great Charles Barkley says, if Alabama was playing the Taliban, I'm pulling for the Taliban.
Unfortunately, I'm going to be at a screening of It's a Wonderful Life down in the city tonight at 6 to 8 p.m., so I'm going to miss the first hour.
What?
It's a family tradition. We go to the Music Box Theater every year, and it's Christmas time. You got to do this.
Could you not tell your wife it's Tommy going?
Oh yeah, all 4 of us. It's a family tradition. Go to watch It's a Wonderful Life.
You're gonna watch
at the Music Box.
it's
cool.
wonderful. You're gonna be watching.
I'll have the game.
Are you watching it in black and white or in color, though?
Oh, black and white.
Okay, that's the right answer.
But it's a cool. The Music Box Theater. They do like Christmas carols before, and it's an old-fashioned theater, and we go to dinner and stuff before, and they do serve wine and stuff. People bring wine and to the theater, and
So Oklahoma's catching a 1.5. They opened as a point favorite.
no,
Yeah.
no, not according to my. I got them Oklahoma given 1.5. I'll go to DraftKings. Hang on. This show is sponsored by.
So
if Oklahoma's getting points, I'm gonna load up. No, Oklahoma minus 1.5. Their favorite at home, and I don't think it's by enough.
I think it could be a 14-point game. I think they're gonna wear them out. I think A&M wins. The Tulane Ole Miss game is real interesting, right?
Not really. Why?
Well,
Another Tulane. Come on. What are you doing? What are we doing? Tulane and James Madison.
Tulane?
What are we doing?
The Tulane coach is, ESPN has Oklahoma. No, it moved. Bama's plus. Oklahoma opened catching a point. Now they're getting a point.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is why you spent 5 years at Auburn University.
I'm getting there's
pluses and minuses.
So what happened was Oklahoma was catching a point and a half, and everybody was loading up on them. Now they're a point. Now it moved, right? So I think Alabama loses. I'm really excited to see the second round, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I think Indiana beats either of those teams pretty easily.
With all that time to prepare, Kurt Cignetti is going to be ready, and they don't lose to Oklahoma or Alabama. They're going to have some tough, Texas Tech is for real. Don't sleep on Texas Tech in this thing.
That's an interesting story. Are you familiar with the Texas Tech and what's going on down there?
Not really. They
have
Mike Leach and Bobby Knight.
They have a former player, younger guy, he's in his early 40s, who made $1 billion in the oil business as a wildcatter and built a big energy company. And he has funded that program. They have one of the largest NILs. I don't know if you've ever been out there. There's nothing.
Well, I watched Landman. Is that what it's like?
Well, yeah, it's kind of like that guy, right? That guy that died in Landman. But this guy is he is leading them to refuse to sign the NIL limit deal that the NCAA is probably, because he's like, no, we're gonna shell out the money and win. And they built amazing facilities. They wrote the checks and got the great players. And I think they might be a little bit of a sleeper.
Well, that's what Indiana did too. They spent the money. They invested in a football program. And if you watch the 60 Minutes show or a segment about them,
it was great.
They recoup all that money, so it's paid dividends, and I saw that firsthand. We used to go down to Alabama games a few years in a row. Jeff Tucker's son went there, and he'd do a little trip for his customers, and we went down several years in a row to tailgates. SEC tailgate, as you know, is much different than we do it up here. But the campus at Alabama, it was just unbelievable. Every building was the old school brick buildings, but brand new, all built by the football money.
Yeah,
and that's what Indiana's doing, and Indiana could be around for. They've got the biggest alumni base in the country. They've got some huge donors themselves with Mark Cuban and some other guys.
Well, and I don't think Cignetti goes anywhere.
I hope not.
I mean,
at his age, I would think it'd be a little bit different equation for him. But
and a lot of those guys, look at Nick Saban, right? Greatest college football coach of all time, without a doubt.
Yeah.
And he could not win in the NFL to save his life. Right. I mean, that's happened over and over again. It's a completely different game. Or the way you lead the players. And
now it's not so much different, though, do you think? I mean, you're dealing with these kids in college are under contract, and you're recruiting them as much as you're going to recruit high school players. You're recruiting every how do you coach a kid
that's making $6 million a year?
And you got to remember, you got to treat them a certain way because you don't want them, leaving.
Well, I think it's probably still a bit different with the kids in college than it is with the adults in the NFL.
I don't know.
But so let's go. Let's run through this. We got James Madison, Oregon. James Madison.
21 and a half.
20 and a half is what I've got right now.
Yeah.
So are you what I don't even know what James
load up on Oregon.
What is James Madison's?
The only thing.
What are they?
The only thing with these big spreads is in the regular season,
it's the Dukes versus the Ducks. The James Madison Dukes. I didn't know what they were.
But in the regular season team, you'd kind of count on teams to run up the score for style points for the committee. You don't have that in the playoffs. So 21 and a half, 20 and a half,
You get up and get the game in hand. You're pulling your players out. You can't risk it. I mean,
right.
You don't want to.
That's a big number. I don't know if Oregon covers, but they're going to win that game.
Who beat Oregon this year?
Hoosiers.
The Hoosiers beat Oregon
at Oregon.
Okay, that's Oregon's only
broke
loss.
The longest home winning streak in the country. I mean, that was a huge win. The win at Iowa for the Hoosiers was bigger than people understand. That Iowa team was tough. And Penn State, people kind of try to crap all over Indiana for playing a close game at Beaver Stadium. I mean, that was a huge win. That's a talented Penn State team. You know, the whole James Franklin thing, whatever happened in that 3-game stretch, and I am so against schools firing a coach midseason.
I think I don't know if you saw Nick Saban talk about it on game day. He said there has to be some rules around this. And this is with the Kiffin thing, right? I mean, you look at Ole Miss, they have the best season in history, and the coach dips out on the players. Whatever the character of the coach is.
Let's talk about this scenario. Oklahoma blows the doors off Alabama tonight. Kalen DeBoer goes to Michigan.
And then Lane Kiffin goes to Alabama without ever coaching a game at LSU. If DeBoer goes to Michigan,
very possible.
Lane Kiffin is going to Alabama. That's the job he wanted.
He wants
right?
Alabama.
And to be fair, if you're winning, the Alabama job is the best job in the country. If you don't win, you aren't going to be there long. I grew up listening to Paul Feinbaum on the radio, and I still listen to his podcast. You know, they turn a show into a podcast.
That guy's a tool.
He knows what he's talking about. I listened to him for 25 years. But the callers, and his show's still in Birmingham, and it's got a definite Alabama Auburn slant to it. I mean, he focuses on all of college football, but Kalen DeBoer is already on the hot seat there.
Yeah.
If
he was on the hot seat,
if they hadn't gotten in the playoff, I think he might already be at Michigan. And if Oklahoma goes out there and straps him, I can see him packing up and going, because he's going to go into next year, and they got a tough schedule next year, and he loses 2 or 3 games, and you're going to see him get canned in the middle of the year. Because the one thing they want, I was alive. My dad was the biggest Bear Bryant fan, and I grew up watching Bear. And they had 8 coaches between Bear and Saban, with an average tenure of about 2.5 years. Other than Gene Stallings, who won a national championship in '93, but he was one of Bear's boys. But anybody else, they have no – I mean, Bill Curry won an SEC championship. It was back then, I think it was 9-1 or 10-1, and they fired him because he lost to Auburn 2 years in a row.
Yeah.
I mean, so I think that, and I think that'll be the best. It'll be the funniest thing ever if Lane Kiffin ditches LSU.
What's funny is
because Alabama will write to check.
They're literally tearing down the studio around us. I mean, this is like, I tell you, I get no respect.
All right, we got to take one more break here at the bottom of the hour. We'll be back shortly. We'd love to have you call in, hear your thoughts on college football. Matt and I are very interested in this college football playoff. I hope you are too. It's the greatest season in the history of Indiana football. And I'm cheering. I'm a Hoosier.
It's unbelievable.
Until next season starts, Auburn made a great hire.
It's surreal. It just doesn't.
Team of destiny.
Real. I mean,
team of destiny.
The pinnacle of the college football universe.
All right, give us a call. We'll be back in a few.
Creativity is not something I wait for. I am Antoni Sendra, a filmmaker. I'm always hunting and hustling for ideas. Adobe Creative Cloud is designed to be almost like a playground. They provide you with some really inspiring tools for you to start. It allows me to disappear in the creative process. It's about the making. Adobe Creative Cloud gets me into the zone.
Good morning, everyone. You are listening to WJOB on 12:30 a.m., 104.7 FM in Hammond, Indiana, and you are also watching live on YouTube. It is Friday, December 19th, 8:27 a.m. Let me give you guys your traffic and weather reports for today. So let's take a look at traffic. Traffic in the northwest region is actually looking pretty good. 80 going east and west is looking good. 90 going east and west is looking good. Chicago Skyways, Lakeshore Drive is actually looking pretty good. We do not have much traffic on the Bishop Ford or Dan Ryan. And the traffic on the Stevenson Expressway 55 going north has cleared up just a little bit. We still got a little traffic on the Eisenhower Expressway 290 going east right there by Western Avenue. The earlier accident on the Kennedy I-90 west before Illinois 43 Harlem Avenue 81A is still causing a little bit of traffic, but not as much as it was. And 94 going east and west is looking okay. You may have a little bit of traffic there, 94 east, right there by West Fullerton Avenue. Let's take a look at our weather for today. So currently at the Strack and Van Til Studios, it is 16 degrees. Today we're seeing highs of 26 degrees and lows of 22. Breezy and much cooler with clouds breaking for some sun. On Saturday, highs of 44, lows of 22, breezy with clouds and sun. And then on Sunday, we're seeing highs of 30 degrees, lows of 24, sunny and cooler. And those are the lowest temperatures we're going to get because for the rest of the week, we are seeing high 40s into the high 50s. So that is all for your traffic and weather.
50s. That sounds good. I miss golf.
You sound like my dad. That's all he says. He's like, I hate the cold. I can't wait till it golfs. He does the golf simulator there in Munster, and he's like, "Yep, this is great." I think it might be that one. It's right there by like the Rosebud and everything.
Oh, that's the
Bicentennial Park.
I know which one you're talking about.
Yeah, he loves to do that one.
Yeah.
So he was like, he's looking at the weather. He's like, I might go play golf on Thursday. I'm like, what is going to be open? He's like, they cannot stop me from walking on the course.
I know.
I was like, so we're going to break you out of jail on Christmas Day.
Lincoln Oaks is open over in Crete. I don't know if Wicker Park stays open all year round, but there's courses that stay open all year round. So as long as the snow, even if there's a little snow, I played at Briar after that early season. It was November 15th.
Use like an orange ball or something?
No, it was November 15th, and we had that early November snowstorm, but it all melted. But it was November 15th. I'm in. I had pants on. No, I had shorts on, and a pullover like this. It was so warm. I took this. I'm in a golf shirt and shorts, and I'm in a sand trap, and there was a little patch of snow. I'm like, this is just bizarre. So, anyways, miss golf. Can't wait for the season.
You know, it's probably a little late, but Indiana will be playing in the Rose Bowl.
Tommy's going.
Good golf weather out
Pasadena.
there. Is he going to go?
Yeah, the tickets are crazy expensive, or even for that game. But
Yeah.
That would be an experience.
It's a tough place to stay, too. It's not, if you stay in LA.
14 guys from his fraternity.
So then, if they win that one in the quarters, they're in the Peach Bowl in Atlanta. You get a lot of great golf in Atlanta.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea.
And then they win that one.
Miami, right?
In Miami.
Yeah, how about it? There you go. I like the way you think.
You go down there and stay at that Hard Rock Hotel and Casino and play golf down there?
I did stay there, the Guitar Hotel there in Hollywood.
I've been telling Matt Schufert for years, if they build a hotel, it's got to be bigger than. The first time I was driving from.
It is really cool.
During COVID, we spent Christmas in Birmingham and then drove from Birmingham to Isla Morada to the Keys and spent New Year's with some friends in the Keys. And I've been there many times. I've never driven. So we drove with the kids the whole way. It's like the middle of the night. I'm driving down the Florida Turnpike there, and it's like a beacon.
Yeah. And
you can see it from miles away, this giant guitar.
And they do a light show a couple times a night. Cool. It lights up. It's pretty wild. I'll tell you what, though.
They got to win a few games to get there, but that,
the dealers at that casino were not friendly at all. But I mean,
but you play golf down there, right?
We did. We didn't play anywhere.
Tons of great golf down there.
Well, it's hard to find. You got to pay up, and I was with some guys that weren't of the mindset that let's just go play. $60 course. It was so bad, but you got to pay up if you're down there to play a good course.
You go. No, I'm not going to say that. I was going to say there's some courses there you could play, but I wouldn't.
Huh?
You can play the Trump, right? That's public. And aren't all his courses public?
Yeah, it's pricey.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Doral.
Is it worth the money?
It's like $1,000 a guy per round.
Yeah. It's $1,000 to play a round of golf?
Yep.
Are you kidding me?
Yep.
Holy.
Pretty close.
That's nuts.
If you factor in your caddy, and I'm sure it's,
you play Kohler for less than that.
Oh yeah. Well, if you can get on, yeah.
Wow.
And that's another thing. You got to book these things. Like
for this national championship, I bet it's pretty.
Bandon Dunes out in Oregon, it's like a year and a half. You got to book in advance to play out there. And Acadia Bluffs in Michigan, same way.
No kidding.
It's crazy.
I'm the guy that plays the $60 rounds. I'm not going to Pinehurst and the Doral and all those places.
Pinehurst is fantastic. Thank goodness I know a good friend of mine.
You got a guy.
Is a member there.
Adriana, do we have any callers? Man, nobody in the region wants to talk about the
We're
greatest
probably
season.
not even on the air. They're moving.
They're moving the studio. They probably pulled the power plug. The whole thing is we're just talking to ourselves here.
Computers are getting pulled out. The desks are getting disassembled.
All right, we'll open it up. So, we've got the first round games. You got Alabama, Oklahoma tonight, which I'll give a quick plug. We're going to be watching that. We'll have it on at Doc's.
We have a
call. Come see it. Come watch it at Doc's. Don't forget to order your Christmas meal online. You got a few more days to do that. DocsBarbecue.net. We do have a caller. Somebody cares about college football besides the two of us. Good morning, caller.
Hey, good morning. Hey, good morning. I apologize. I shouldn't say this, but I haven't had WJOB on in months. I mean, probably 6 months. And you guys were talking earlier with Dan McNeil. That is the longest I've ever heard anybody talk without a commercial on WJOB, and I don't know how long.
Yeah,
that had to be.
That was a stretch, wasn't it? I was wondering why we weren't taking a break, but it was great.
Yeah, no, that's why I didn't know if I was actually listening to some kind of a podcast. So you guys started talking about, all the recent news with the Bears and stuff like that, because that was actually mind-blowing, honestly.
Mind-blowing in a good way?
Well, yeah, it was.
Yeah,
it was
okay, good. Yeah, I want to make sure. I mean, there's two kinds of mind-blowing.
Yeah, well, no, it was a good mind-blowing. It was. I don't know if, again, when you took the call, you made a comment about college football. I just want to make a thing about the Bears in Northwest Indiana. I just cannot imagine a place in Hammond that has the acreage that would be available or wouldn't have their prices get jacked up through the roof through speculation, that where the cost would be prohibitive to come up with that area of land, the acreage that they would need for that. Anywhere in Hammond that would make sense. Let's go that way.
You've got to look at, they have the ability to knock stuff down, right? I don't know what the city owns and what the city doesn't own. And how big was the site in Arlington? 180 acres?
Yeah.
So
that's at least 150.
That's a big chunk of land, but I mean, I think
I'm sorry, but it just seemed that the biggest thing that they're doing these days, and I've never been to Wrigley Field in my life, but everything around the stadium becomes its own little city in a way. They were really looking at that Arlington Heights site because it was going to be it was going to be basically a city built around a football field.
You're spot on. That's the way. And I've been to a few of them in Dallas.
Sports Entertainment District.
I think Cincinnati has done the same thing. No one goes in and just builds a stadium.
Philadelphia.
Anymore, right? It's a whole complex. There's hotels, there's restaurants, and they try to make it a viable destination all the time rather than just 8 or 10 games a year. And I think that's what I'm almost certain that's what the Bears are planning to do. So where they have the space to do that in the region, I don't know, but I can guarantee you that there's a whole bunch of mayors.
There's an aggressive appetite to make
sitting
it happen.
down looking at plat maps right now, figuring out where that area is, because generational change.
Oh, without a doubt, it has the potential to be, but I don't know. I just don't know whether there's that much land. There's land in Northwest Indiana, but a lot of steel mill land isn't being used anymore. But that's so polluted, and it has been for over 100 years. I don't know what the remediation costs are and all of that. There's just a lot of, and you get the political personalities of Northwest Indiana involved. It's almost, I'm not even sure that it would be feasible with all the little fiefdoms in Northwest Indiana.
I think there will definitely be some.
That's where
some backroom knife fighting going on. It's funny when you talk about that. I saw Chuck Pullen last night at the event we were at, and I had to go up to him and I said, "Chuck, you're so anti the train, but because of this train, we might now be getting the Bears." And Chuck said, "You know what they should do? They should build the stadium in Lowell and run the extension of the train down to Lowell." So, Chuck always give it good for a laugh. Good guy. Y'all should listen on Monday.
That is where you've got the land. I mean, I'm not picking Lowell specifically, but there are areas of Northwest Indiana that are just, absolutely.
I think that and like Crown Point, you're almost getting too far outside of the city, in my opinion. And I think that's why, probably Hammond is the best shot, just because it's basically, Hammond borders the city of Chicago.
Yeah,
right?
You can't. I think it's one thing to cross the border, and there was a lot of backlash. There's fans that said they wouldn't be Bears fans anymore if they left the state of Illinois. But they need to make it
switch to the Packers.
They need to make it convenient to.
It's one thing to cross the border; it's another to cross the border and drive another hour.
Yeah.
Then one other very quick thing about the project with the Arlington Heights project is they claim that the Bears, the numbers I've seen, heard reported, are going to put up $2.4 billion of their own for the stadium to be built. What they're looking for from the state is two things, from what I gather, and locally. One is taxes. They need to know what their nut is going to be in taxes. They don't want to go into this blind and then have them come in and say, "Oh yeah, you thought it was this. Guess what? It's 8 times what you thought it was going to be." They want some certainty there. And they also want infrastructure improvements, roadways. If they're going to build basically a Disneyland around a football stadium, that's going to need a lot of water, sewage. There's going to be a lot of underground utilities, we'll call them, the stuff you don't see that are going to be needed. The state of Illinois, without getting into politics, I don't care who is running the state, they really don't have any money. They're in pretty miserable shape. The city of Chicago's in miserable shape. Cook County's in miserable shape. It would be interesting if the Bears, I don't know whether the McCaskey family would ever do this, or a consortium, maybe they get private equity involved. come to the state and say, you know what, we're going to build this. We're going to build the Disneyland around the stadium. We're going to do the infrastructure. We're paying for everything. Screw you. We're going to tell you what we're going to pay in taxes because we're going to do it all. Anything that gets built within that 180 acres or whatever number it is ours.
Yeah, but that's where you have to be careful in terms of we need to incentivize this business to come here, but we also need to protect the tax base too. You can't have another situation where U.S. Steel and Cleveland Cliffs are paying pennies on the dollar and watching the community that they're in fall by the wayside. So you have to have a fair balance between incentive and.
But I think the caller has a good point. It's like the politicians or the legislature, the governor, whoever in Illinois, just is refusing to address it.
Right.
They said we're not going to. This isn't even on our agenda for 26, and the Bears are going, well. To your point, we can't go into this blind not knowing.
It gets more expensive every month.
I don't mind giving them some tax abatements and things like that. Especially if it's structured over time to phase down. And I think, and it's probably an unpopular opinion, I am okay with tax money going to that infrastructure portion of the build.
Any business that comes in of that scale that's going to have that economic impact, the infrastructure is a foregone conclusion. That's not even a sticking point.
There's a similar situation in Alabama back in about 96 or 97. They built a huge Mercedes-Benz plant between Birmingham and Atlanta, and the governor at the time was just pilloried for the corporate welfare that we gave to Mercedes-Benz. And now, 30 years later, it has changed Alabama. There's Toyota, Honda, Hyundai, Mercedes. There's another one down in South. They developed it. Became an auto industry in Alabama. Mercedes has spent many more billions expanding that factory, and it changed the landscape, and it's paid off many times over.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So when you talk about government and what government should and shouldn't be paying for, putting in the infrastructure for someone to come in and say we're going to spend $2.6 billion building this Disneyland around a stadium,
it's a no-brainer.
That's what we should be doing. That, to me, that is a good use of our tax dollars because the jobs, the future revenue, everything around it, that's how you drive economic development. So,
it's kind of like the argument against festivals. People say, "Oh, what are you wasting your money on?" That's quality of life. I mean, the ancillary benefits to these things are might be intangible, but over time you're going to see the results.
Okay.
Hey, I got to get out of here.
Okay, I'll take it home.
Have a great weekend. If I don't talk to you guys on, and I probably okay.
Thanks for calling, sir.
Oh,
yeah, you're on.
I was just going to say, you guys have a very Merry Christmas. I don't think I'll be calling into WJOB again between now and the holidays, between actual Christmas. So everybody have a very, very Merry Christmas, a Happy New Year. Stay safe and go Bears.
Go Bears. Same to you.
Merry Christmas.
Yeah, and I just want to say to everybody, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and I want to thank everybody out there, listeners of WJOB and my clients and referral friends for an incredible year. I'm so blessed and humbled. Business was unbelievable this year in a trying real estate environment. I knocked it out of the park, and that's all thanks to you people and the trust you put in me. Yeah. And I really appreciate it.
And I think you get some credit for doing a good job, Matt.
Well,
you're very good at what you do, and I know that firsthand.
I hope that's the case, and I hope everybody's happy. But I just want to thank everybody. I love the region. Let's think big, baby.
Put 100 on the Bears and Indiana.
Good, better, best. Never let it rest. So your good gets better and your better gets best. Bears on 3.
Merry Christmas, Matt. All right, Adriana, we got more callers because while I am Kuziak's understudy, I cannot sit here and talk by myself for so long. So I would love to hear your calls, talk about the Bears, talk about college football, anything but politics today. That's the name of the show. Good morning, caller. Hello. Okay, so call in and give me your picks on these first-round games. Yep, we got somebody on. Good morning, caller.
Yeah, gentlemen, this is Rick. I've already said I'm going to lay it down. This stadium, it's going to go to Gary.
You think so? What makes you say that?
Yeah, because Gary's got. I mean, come on. You know, the money that they've spent on tearing all these houses down and stuff. You know, I would say if they get rid of like Black Oak, tear up Black Oak, or in between Burr and Grant. Yeah.
So kind of over there by the casino and the future convention center?
Well, a little further east of the casino, but you might have to get rid of that truck stop over there because, I mean, you realize not only is the stadium a monstrous thing, but look at the parking you need.
Oh, yeah. Well, and that's why, I mean, I think, you know, I'm not an expert, but I think that I want to say that I saw the site that they had in Arlington was 180-something acres. So I think they're looking for, you know, like Matt said, 150. I mean, that's a big piece of land.
And I don't think Hammond's got the land, you know, unless they eminent domain a whole bunch of stuff. And up north, it's a lot of toxins over there, so I would think that they'd have to stop that.
Yeah, it's the last caller mentioned that the what do they call it, the remediation for the stuff that's been the soil from all the factories over the years. That's probably a factor. But I mean there's a number of, you know, I think that's where this process gets interesting, where you're going to have different municipalities, some maybe working together, some on their own. I know I've seen Portage has the mayor of Portage has a big piece of land on the lake that's undeveloped that would fit the bill. Now, is Portage too far? I mean, I don't know. Not really. They got the train going through there. The interstate goes right through it. You know, Hammond's obviously the closest. Gary's right there as well. And it's where that they can make the most sense of putting it, because as we said, this is going to be a development that is not just for 8 or 10 football games a year, right? They are going to want to build something that is a destination 365 days a year, and
it's not even going to be, you know, this isn't even going to happen. If it happens, it's not even going to be done until like 8 or 9, 10 years from now.
Oh, I think it can go. I think it'll go faster than that. I mean, it's
they got
years.
that contract. They got that contract with the city for 10 more years. I think.
Is it that long?
I think so.
I thought it was shorter. Well, I mean, they'll break it.
And then, like in North Hammond, I mean, what are they going to do? Fill in Wolf Lake? You know, I mean, and you know that area like south of Wolf Lake, that's all polluted. You know, and like where 41 Drive-In used to be, that's real toxic. So.
I mean, there's definitely the land
and what
around
are they going to do
Wolf Lake,
along the highway on South Hammond? They'd have to tear all. That'd be a lot of eminent domain. So
I think that
I do hope Northwest Indiana gets it, though.
Yeah, I think it'll be a great thing, and I'm hoping that this is a real thing that the Bears are serious about, and it's not just to try to squeeze the Illinois politicians. And you know, Danny mentioned it before. He said this is the same show that they played 32 years ago. Well. It may be, but it could be that 32 years ago they really started looking at it and said, hey, this makes some sense. And a lot of things have changed since then. They said, hey, why don't we go back and look at what we were talking about 30 years ago, because it's a different environment. I mean, Northwest Indiana has changed a lot in that time. And, you know, where Chicago is sort of a lot of people would say is on the decline. I would say that the region of Northwest Indiana is on the come up, right? I mean, there's a lot of great things happening here, and that would just be another feather in our cap. And again, it's a generationally changing thing. I mean, I went when I lived in Texas. I went to a couple of Cowboys games, and I went to the Alabama-Michigan kickoff thing. My dad was a big Alabama fan, and I took him out there to the they call it Jerry World down there that Jerry Jones built out in Arlington. And it is in the middle of nowhere, essentially. I mean, there's not much going on, but they built an entire ecosystem around the stadium, and they use that stadium all the time. It's not just football games. There's tons of concerts there. there was a big one of the Canelo Alvarez fight was there, one of the biggest drawing fights of all time. They've got the FIFA World Cup, like all of those things. Now you think about that. So we get the World Cup every 10 or 15 years. You're talking about a major global thing where people come from all over the world, and Northwest Indiana would be in the hunt to have those games. I mean, it's an amazing thing beyond just having the Bears every year, right?
Super Bowl.
Yeah. Oh,
and it'd have to be a dome.
Super.
If you're going to put it in a polluted area, you're still going to have a dome. And I'm for that. Anyway, Merry Christmas, everybody.
Merry Christmas. Thanks for your call.
Bye-bye.
We got on? Nobody else is calling. So, I think to expand on the last caller, there's no doubt it's a dome. I don't know.
I would hope it's a dome.
No, it is. They don't really build, especially in this environment, they don't really build open-air stadiums that much anymore because it limits the use, right? I mean, and
I think fans will appreciate not freezing and having to wear snowsuits.
But it opens it up to all kinds of other events.
That is true.
Right? That you can't have 6 months out of the year outside. And when big concerts like Taylor Swift, they're not booking outdoor venues because of the risk of inclement weather and the expense and all that. They look for a dome. And the big company here, Andy Quinnell can call and remind me the name. It's a big company here that builds all the. I think they're in Crown Point. That they do a lot of the retractable roofs. And Milwaukee, even in that old stadium where the Brewers play, I mean it's 30 years old. They have concerts all year round. One of those big country guys, Morgan Wallen or somebody like that, played there in the middle of winter, and they just closed the roof. So for this kind of investment, I'm certain it'll be a dome.
Yeah, if it's not, I think that would be a very big fault on the entire plan.
Yeah, I haven't seen any plans, but I would be almost certain that it is. I mean, even in the South, I mean, like the new Mercedes.
I don't remember which stadium it is that they make sure that the home team is like nice in the shade and all that, where the opposing team is all in the sun baking, like dying.
Yep, that's a thing. Let's see. I'm going to look that up to see.
I don't know which stadium it is, but yeah. No, I am excited for the game this weekend. I believe Saturday Bears play Packers, and I was I told a story a little earlier on the air how last time when they played them a few weeks ago that one of my friends sends me a screenshot, and they were like, is Adriana watching the game right now? And I was like, no, why? And they were like, can you please tell her to watch the game? She said that they start winning when she watches the game, and we need all the help we can get. So I turned on the game a few seconds before it ends. And they had to just make the pass into end zone, right? And I saw it, and I was like, there's no hope. Nope. I tuned in too late, guys. Sorry about that. So they were like, okay. So this Saturday, they're like, we're going to go, and we're all going to watch the game in our Bears gear, because apparently that's the only way that they can win. And I was like, okay. I'm going to be watching the game, and if they do another pass how they did last time, I'm going to be very disappointed. They're doing so well, but they're giving us little heart attacks every here and there that they don't win until the very last second.
The Packers lost their best player, so I think the Bears got a good shot at this one.
I hope.
So the last open air NFL stadium was Denver.
Really?
Yeah, I've actually been to that stadium. Been to a game there. It's a great stadium right downtown, or just adjacent to downtown. You can walk from a lot of places. And that's the last one that was built open air in the NFL.
When was it built?
1999.
Oh, really?
Huh. It says that, this again according to ChatGPT, that the Bills are building an open air stadium, and it will open in 2026. So the Bills are going to keep playing outside, but I think that's probably indicative of those nuts Bills Mafia fans that like jumping through tables and sitting in 8 feet of snow when they get the lake effect. So
there's some people that they like that's what they live for. They love to do that. I've been seeing a lot of like videos on social media of people like showing it's like the outfit of the day, but it's for the game. And it's like, okay, so here are my 5 pairs of pants, here are my 3 pairs of wool socks, and as they get suited up, I can't help but to think that they look like Ralphie's little brother from A Christmas Story, walking around in their snowsuits, and they can't put their arms down because there's so many layers. And I was like, I don't think I could ever like willingly do that, because I remember my dad saying that he went to a Bears game once in that really, really cold weather, and like they had their drinks and everything, but they brought a cooler, because if they left it out if they left it out, their drinks were automatically going to freeze. So every time they took a sip, had to put it back in the cooler. So it didn't freeze that fast.
When I first moved from Texas to Milwaukee, I went to 2 Packers games that first year.
Okay.
And once the very first one, the Miller Company took me and I got to sit in their box, and it was an amazing experience. And then the next one, I went to a playoff game in January, and that was the 2012-2013 winter. That was the polar vortex.
Oh.
It was like so cold, and I put on all my hunting gear and warm stuff, and we went, and they weren't selling beer because the beer would freeze. Lambeau's open, right? The beer would freeze before you could drink it. But they were pretty lax about checking you when you walked in, so we took a bottle of whiskey in. But,
there you go.
It was like -6 or something. It was. They were in the playoffs, but Aaron Rodgers was hurt. They got blown out. But I went to a game in negative temperatures at Lambeau Field and had fun. Drank a lot of whiskey.
Did the whiskey keep you warm?
Yeah, more than the beer.
I was gonna say, I see the people, and I'm just like, good for you. I'm gonna cheer you on, and I'm gonna support you from right here in the nice warmth of my little area that I'm not. I don't think I could do the negative temperatures like that. I like the cold more than the heat, but I don't think I like the cold that much.
8, 9, 10, I've counted 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. There have been 17 NFL stadiums built since the Denver Stadium in 99. They all have retractable roofs or they're fully enclosed domes.
Yeah.
So I think that's a given.
Because at that point, when it's like real nice out and everything, then yeah, you're all good to open up those.
Well, so let's just look. I'm going to look this up again, and sorry, I'm just.
No,
again,
you're good. They're asking me to look at traffic right now.
Oh, do a little. Well, you know what? It's 2 minutes to
go. Turned over on.
We will
65. Let's see here. Okay, I see it. There we go. Okay. Well, yeah, let's do a little traffic and weather to close us out. So looking at traffic right now, there is an accident. Thank you, the YouTube chat peoples. We always appreciate your commentary and keeping us updated on things happening. There is an accident. 2 left lanes are blocked on I-65 North at 113th Avenue, backed up to US 23rd, exit 247. Again, that is on I-65 North at 113th Avenue, backed up all the way to US 231, exit 247. That was updated and about 9 minutes ago, and that was reported at 8:33. And there's a good amount of traffic, so if you are headed that way, please be cautious of that. Other than that, traffic in the rest of the Northwest region is looking good. 80 going east and west is looking good. Skyways, toll roads, they're looking good. The Bishop Ford, Dan Ryan is looking good. We still got, now we have an accident again on the right shoulder. Kennedy I-90-94 west before Addison Street, exit 45A, updated about 6 minutes ago. And another accident on the right lane blocked on the Kennedy I-90-94 express lanes east before Illinois 64 North Avenue, exit 48B. That was updated about 10 minutes ago. So you're going to see a lot of traffic on the Kennedy, as well as a little bit of slow traffic on the inbound ramp to the Dan Ryan Stevenson I-55 south before I-94, exit 292. That was updated about 5 minutes ago. So, yes, for our people in the Northwest region, again, there is that accident on I-65 North. 2 left lanes are blocked, so be sure to keep that in mind. As for our weather, we're going to do one last weather report. Currently at the Strike Hill Studios, still great warm temperatures of 16 degrees. And we are seeing highs today around 26, lows of 22. Breezy, much cooler with clouds breaking for some sun. Saturday, we warm up again for those Bears-Packers game. Let's go Bears. Let's hopefully that they win and we don't see a fumble like last time. Highs of 44, lows of 22. Breezy with times of clouds and sun. Sunday, highs of 30, lows of 24. Colder with plenty of sunshine. Quiet weather for early holiday travelers as we head into our Christmas season. We may even see highs of 60 degrees on Christmas Day.
All right, and thank you for listening today. I'm Brent Brazier. Come see me at Doc's Smokehouse. We're going to watch that Oklahoma-Alabama game and see who's going to play Indiana next week. Thank you for listening this year. Thank you for being patrons of Doc's. I appreciate every one of you come in. Don't forget to go online at Doc's Barbecue, order your prime rib or turkey or ham or whatever you want.
Doc's, and I'm like, dang, that sounds so good.
Come see me for lunch today, Adriana.
There we go. Maybe. If not, I might come see you for the Bears-Packers game.
All right. Well, everybody have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year, and I'll see you after the New Year. I'm sure Matt and I are going to come back on and talk football. It's a little fun not talking about politics, isn't it?
Yes.
Everybody have a great time.